Dealing with an accident and injury claim can be overwhelming. Let Phillips Law Firm fight for you. We understand the pain and suffering, and we're here to guide you through. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today for a free case review, or visit justiceforyou.com and let Phillips Law Firm help you on the road to recovery.
Most of you listening right now are probably multitasking. Yep, while you're listening to this, you're probably also driving, cleaning, exercising, or maybe even grocery shopping. But if you're not in some kind of moving vehicle, there's something else you can be doing right now. Getting an auto quote from Progressive Insurance. It's easy, and you could save money by doing it right from your phone. Drivers who save by switching to Progressive save nearly $700 on average, and auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Discounts for having multiple vehicles on your policy, being a homeowner, and more. So just like your favorite podcast, Progressive will be with you 24/7, 365 days a year. So you're protected no matter what. Multitask right now. Quote your car insurance at Progressive.com to join the over 29 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $698 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2021 and May 2022. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
Hey, it's Mike Hawk. Join me every Thursday at 1 p.m. exclusively on the Odyssey app as we go live with Odyssey. Join in on the action as we cover interesting facts, top 10 lists, and some fun new games. Follow the Men's Room page on the Odyssey app and join in all the fun Thursday afternoons at 1.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 18, episode number 3850. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. And here on the Men's Room. On tap today, the return of Who Sucks Less. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, Men's Room Shot of the Day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Click, clack.
Bring in the drum. All right, here we go, man. In Peru finds out his 800-year-old mummified girlfriend is really a dude.
Yeah.
When you shoot up a home, then leave fresh snow prints, you will be pursued. Louisiana ice cream truck owned by Tammy, shockingly, is busted for meth. Kids at recess in Arizona probably should held their breath. And a Buffalo Wild Wings manager is busted because of his shifty eyes. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, maybe it starts when you're a baby and people start playing peekaboo with you, but in that moment, the idea of hiding, it seems fun, right? Kids love a good game of hide and go seek, and if you do it right, it's a good time. If you do it wrong, well, you might end up in a foreign country. You might remember the story from earlier this year. Kid was playing hide and go seek in Bangladesh, accidentally locked himself in a shipping container, only to be found 6 days later in Malaysia. Ah, kids. But at least it was an innocent mistake. Emphasis on innocent. Because you see, if adults are hiding, it's usually because they're up to no good. Not always, but almost always. Case in point, a man wanted for drug possession. He was hiding from the cops, and he almost succeeded until he farted loudly and gave himself away. True story. And then there's the man in China. He hid in a cave for 14 years. His crime? He stole $23 from a gas station. $23 hid in a cave for 14 years. He finally turned himself in, and the penalty for his crime, at worst, 3 years in jail. He spent 14 years in a cave hiding from the cops. He could have just gone to jail for 3 years, or maybe he'd gotten away with it. And there are those who get creative when they hide. There's a car thief in England. The cops, they were hot on his trail. They swore that he went into this room. They could not find him anywhere until they realized that the giant stuffed teddy bear in the corner was breathing. Turns out he was hiding inside of the teddy bear. So, great idea. Next time, hold your breath. But today we're talking about hiding, right? Either as an adult or as a child, it happens. Like we said, most of the time, kids, innocent enough. A lot of times as adults, especially in your 20s, I've hidden from cops many times. Hid under cars, behind a fence, you name it. We've all done it. So today, this is what we want to know. Who was hiding, and what were they hiding from?
Be part of the Big Show. Call 206-803-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
Walk the dogs, school drop-off, meetings from 10 to 3, take kids to soccer, then no time left for a jog.
When everyone else is relying on you, it's easy to put your needs last. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist online, so you can show up for yourself the way you do for others. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/positive.
Love the skin you're in with Hand & Stone Massage and Facial Spa's facial services. Enjoy the tranquility and deep relaxation while giving your skin a rejuvenating glow. All facials are tailored to your individual needs using the highest quality ingredients designed to give you healthy, radiant, and younger-looking skin. Visit any one of their 8 Seattle Hand & Stone Massage and Facial Spa locations or book online at handandstone.com. Restrictions apply. See spa for details.
What you watch depends on what kind of mood you're in. Sometimes you're craving comedies like Friends or South Park, and sometimes you're more into dramas like HBO's Succession and House of the Dragon. There's also cooking shows like Chopped and Beat Bobby Flay, and even movies like The Lord of the Rings and Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Well, Max is the streaming destination that has the best of entertainment for whatever mood you're in anytime. And plans start at as little as $9.99 a month. Max, the one to watch. Subscription required. Visit Max.com.
What do you do when your employee gets hurt on the job? Here's a story about Jay. He got hurt at work and couldn't perform his normal duties. That's rough, but there's good news. You see, Jay works for Tisa, and Tisa wants to do right by her employee. She knows all about L&I Stay at Work program, so Tisa gets to keep a valuable employee like Jay on the payroll doing a light-duty job while he heals. And Tisa gets reimbursed half of Jay's wages up to $10,000. Now, that's what we call a win-win. Learn more at lni.wa.gov/stay at work.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Home Patrol's away we go. Welcome to Season 18, Episode number 3,850. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. The exciting return of Who Sucks Less.
Yeah.
Steve, I don't know how you do it.
I will not reveal my secret.
You find news stories where people are doing messed up stuff.
Yeah.
And I know it takes you hours to find these stories because they're not easy to find.
We have an international team of people looking for people doing dumb stuff.
But somehow you come up with 3. We pit them against each other and determine of the 3 stories which one sucks the least. How are we looking this week?
One of the stories was brought to my attention by our very own Mike Hawk. He covered it during his headlines, but I feel that it's worth revisiting. Let's see. I had to kind of do some research on one story. It's more from a TikTok video. And as I did research, pieced it together, and this one really pisses me off, and I'll explain why as we get closer.
Okay.
And then the last one, it's just stupid. It's people in Florida being people in Florida. That basically sums it up.
Who Sucks Less coming up? What else do we have for you today? As we do every Monday through Friday, you get more Men's Room exclusively on the Odyssey app with the Men's Room Happy Hour. Don't have the Odyssey app? Download it now. It's absolutely free. When you do, search for the Men's Room Happy Hour channel. We'll go live at 6 o'clock for more Men's Room. There's a reason that channel is labeled explicit based on the language that we can use and the content. Mm-hmm. Content not too crazy today as far as being dirty, but we are going to have a few food debates. There are a lot of different debates people have as far as what they prefer to be standard and normal in their food eating habits. Obviously, those are based on personal taste, what you like, as far as anything goes. But certain people are just sacrilegious about a lot of different things. Now, if you know anything about pizza and people who love pizza and believe that they are pizza experts, there are a couple things that they will tell you. Number one, if you go to a pizza place, the only way that you can determine their pizza first is to get a cheese pizza. Correct. A slice of cheese, a whole cheese pizza. That will determine anything else that you're about ready to do from that point. And a lot of people are adamant about that. You don't know how good a pizza is until you just have a slice of cheese pizza. Now, that doesn't have anything to do with the different styles of pizza and everything else. It's one example of people and their food particularities, I guess you could say. So we'll have some food debates coming up with the Men's Room Happy Hour. What else do we have for you? Oh, programming note, it is March 1st, and we are celebrating 50 years of Dark Side of the Moon tonight.
That is correct.
At 6 o'clock with the lovely Taryn Daly. 14 times platinum in the United Kingdom. It was on the charts for 972 weeks here in the United States of America.
That's the record, right?
It is the record. Sold over 45 million copies worldwide, making it the best-selling album of the 70s, the third best-selling album in history. So, if you're into Dark Side of the Moon, who knows? Maybe you got a copy of Wizard of Oz. You can make it entertaining.
Fired up.
But either way, it's going to be front to back, nonstop, commercial free. Now, the deal is with Taryn, she's going to play this for a while tonight. I believe she's playing it until 9, which, if Ryan Castle is correct on the math, that means the Dark Side of the Moon will be spun 5 times in a row tonight. So starting at 6 o'clock, if you are a Pink Floyd fan, definitely tune in to KISW. I'll listen free on the Odyssey app. Make sure you sign in there because every hour you listen, you have a chance to win a different prize. I believe we still have the Rob Zombie and the Alice Cooper tickets. Listen to KISW.com. Listen at 99.9. Either way, I'll check out some Dark Side coming up at 6. And today, we're going to ask you who was hiding and what they were hiding from. We start with this story out of Missouri, where law enforcement officers managed to capture a man wanted for possession of a controlled substance after he gave away his position in an unorthodox way. He farted loudly, or at least with enough volume to get the attention of police officers that were actually looking for him. Now, if you've got a felony warrant for your arrest, the cops are looking for you, and you pass gas so loud it gives up your hiding spot, you're definitely having a crap day, according to the Clay County Sheriff's Office.
I hope it wasn't like this.
They had a poop emoji with a hashtag, it happened. A local TV station requested more information on the case. The sheriff's office responded on Facebook with the person was arrested over the weekend on a Clay County warrant for possession of a controlled substance. Got to give props to Liberty, Missouri PD for using their senses to sniff him out. The official Twitter account of the city of Liberty, they had to get it on the action, too.
Of course, you have to, right?
The Liberty Police Department was surprised to see this incident slip out, which stinks for the arrestee, the city wrote. Fortunately, no one was injured during his arrest. City also thanked the Sheriff's Department for airing out a wanted person's dirty laundry and fanning the flames.
I feel like if I'm already in jail, right, and you're the guy that gave up his position because you farted, I feel like that's an ass whipping, right? It's what, hey, man, a lot of us had to try to escape from the cops. We got caught for this reason. Somebody dined us out. You're telling me, essentially, you got away from the cops, at least temporarily.
Right.
They couldn't find you, but you chose to fart in proximity to them.
And that's based on nerves. It had to be based on nerves.
Well, wait a minute, Throw. You're Mr. Fart all the time. Can't help it. It just happens.
Yeah, but
you can't come down on that guy.
Yes,
now.
I can. Because if the authorities looking for me, no, I'm holding. No chance I'm farting. If they're looking for me, are you crazy?
Even if you don't make a noise,
you think I'm going to die? I wouldn't do anything. I'm not going to die myself. I might just walk out of the goddamn closet.
They'll be able to track you down from just the smell.
Yeah, that's why
they won't even need to hear the sound. They'll be like, uh-oh, what is that?
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't do it. That's my whole point. That guy's an idiot, man. The cops are looking for it. It's not like you're in school and your teacher gets mad. People get mad.
Like, it's farts. You can't help it. They just come out. So I'm like, maybe he couldn't help it.
I ain't buying it, bro. When the cops, look, there's a couple things. If cops are chasing me, I can run faster than I've ever run. If cops are chasing me, I can hurdle things much higher. I know this as a fact because I've done it. And certainly if I'm hiding from cops, I'm holding a fart. I might have to fart, but it's like, I ain't farting. You might hear my belly gurgle, but I can hold a fart. You know, you might hear, and the cops say, son, just fart because we know you're in here. But I'm not farting, man.
Headline says, get this baby a badge. A toddler in Williamsburg, Kentucky was praised by law enforcement after the child helped officers locate a fugitive while serving multiple outstanding warrants on a suspect on Friday. Deputies with the Whitley County Sheriff's Department are calling the toddler very brave and honest for assisting in the arrest after none of the adults at the residence would say whether the fugitive was in the home. Quote, it is good to be honest. We shouldn't lie. the unnamed child, told officers before pointing where the suspect was hiding in the bathroom. Good old Tina Hicks was 45. She was found in the bathroom and swiftly taken into custody. The toddler was only visiting the home. According to police, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and deputies would have dealt with the well-being of the child if they believed he was in danger, but he was not. Sure. Hicks was served with 2 outstanding warrants for possession of meth and drug paraphernalia while also serving an additional 4 outstanding court warrants. He was healthy, intelligent, and in no way appeared to be abused, according to the sheriff's office, but they were very delighted that the child decided to help out and said, it's good to be honest, and we shouldn't lie. And
unless it's your age and you're trying to get a cheaper ticket at the movie theater, punk, remember that. Remember that.
I mean, that's the tough thing with him.
I know. You told him in the bathroom. Don't lie. Do not lie. Whatever you do, don't lie. Lying's the worst thing you can do. Hey, man, listen, we are going to the movies. I know you just hit 12. Tell them you're 11. Say, I'm 12 today. Like, you son of a bitch. Question for you.
Can I grow up? You'll lie about how many brownies you had.
If you are, right, you'll lie about that in a heartbeat. If the cops are coming for you and you're going to now hide somewhere in your home, I just feel like she's hiding in the bathroom. I feel like the cops would find you in 10 seconds anyway. Where in your home? Your house is small.
My house is small, so I can pull it off.
Average house, right? So you got 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, kitchen, living room. Give you a basement. I feel like when you're trying to hide in your own home, because they go into the closets, they know to look in there. They're gonna look under the bed, so that's not a safe one. Just hiding in the bathroom to me is stupid. I mean, I don't know where to hide, but I have a crawl space above the garage. I feel like eventually they would get there, but I just don't know. Because most people don't know the crawl.
Like, is it right after the chase? What is the crime?
They're serving a warrant, all right? We're hanging out. They know you've been staying at my place for 3 months. Like, hey, man, can we search the house? I say, yes, you can, because you have chosen to hide somewhere. Where in a normal home does anyone think they're safe hiding?
Depends on your size. You could get in a drying machine, depending on how big you are.
Do you think cops are looking there? You know they're going to check closets.
But you could see into the door.
Well, it depends if it's a steel front.
Yeah.
Depends.
You might be better in the washing machine. I feel like...
Yeah, unless it has an agitator.
Well, you'd have to be really small, though, to get in a washing machine.
You have to crawl around.
But if you can pull the agitator out, I don't know if you can. Is it connected directly to the barrel?
I've never tried to do that.
Because I feel like people will look in the dryer, but no one really looks in the washer.
Mm-hmm.
I got to find, like, a way to get behind the wall.
Or maybe behind clothes. I don't know. Or if you can find a packing box. I'm saying, like, in a house, I feel like you're easy to find. If the cops are looking for you.
Right. You can also, believe it or not, there's a lot of crawl spaces inside homes. I know for a fact that a relative of mine has a basically trap door. All right. That is located under a rug. All right.
That's the spot.
And there is a finger hole that you put you put your finger in. It's kind of got a little latch that comes up, right? It looks like a little, maybe an outlet in the floor.
Sure.
You pull that up and you pick it up. And there is a crawl space down below that area.
Why does he have it under a rug? Because that would make me want to go see what's
down there. They're hardwood floors. So you pick up the hardwood floor, and it opens up like a door.
But I'm saying, why is he covering it with the rug?
Because you can see the latch if there wasn't a rug.
But that's what I'm saying. So what do you think's down there?
That's where he keeps a lot of his valuables and things that he has.
That's why I'm asking.
That's where he has a safe. That's where he has a bunch of different things. But he keeps it down there in that little area. It's basically underneath the house.
A safe would be a great place to hide if you had like a false back to it. Right? The cops are there, and they're like, bro, there's no... And even, he's not in the safe.
I know that because he's a family member of mine, and he wanted to give me one of his watches, and I watched him go through this process.
Oh, really? Did you have any idea it was there before he did that?
Oh, I had no idea. No idea.
Like, I've been at a house once. It was late at night. Once it was like an after party or something. And the owner was like... I was friends with the guy that knew the owner, and they were like, come check this out. And he had the same... Like, not in the floor, but like a wall. That was like a false wall. And I was like, oh, man. He's like, yeah, same thing. We keep valuables, this and that, which was a lie. He got arrested later.
Oh,
he was doing bad stuff.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
I didn't know a guy.
It was a nice house, and I was getting a tour of it at like 2 a.m.
Okay.
People weren't going to sleep at this party.
I see. I knew a guy with a panic room. He was a very, 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 very paranoid individual, but he had a panic room, and it was just behind a bookshelf. You would have no idea.
What do you do in a panic room? Just go in there and relax?
Panic. So, in other words, someone breaks into his house. This is the guy who was, like, strapped while he was inside of his home, right? He had a little kid. Kid's like 2 years old.
Yeah,
he's
but there was
married.
a whole movie about it.
And, they had a movie Panic Room, But this guy, man, he's wearing his gun inside. It's not like he was a law enforcement or anything. I don't remember what he did. I just think he was like a standard white-collar business guy.
Right.
But he was super paranoid about everything. But, yeah, he had a panic room. I'm just like, Well, damn, man.
I was.
What are you worried about?
I was at the grocery store. I told you I went on Sunday morning to the Safeway, right? Now, you get in that pattern where you're going up and down the aisles, but there's another person and they just keep going the opposite.
Right.
Like you're figure eighting, basically.
Sure.
Yeah. So you see them in the middle of each and every aisle because you're going in the opposite directions, but you're going in the same order.
Yeah.
All right. This guy's strapped to the T. He's got like a gun on each side, and he's walking like he's about ready to be involved in a shootout.
Right.
You know? Like he's got that walk about him, like he's in an old cowboy movie. And I'm like, oh God! So I keep passing him, but there's not a lot of room, and his guns are kind of sticking out on his hip.
You crush his gun with your eye.
You know what I mean? So I'm trying to very delicately get by this guy.
Sorry, man.
Every single aisle, like I'm just like, oh my God, it's John Wayne again. But I was kind of scoping out the Safeway. Like I don't know what this guy's up to, but I have a plan, which is to jump behind the meat counter. So I came up. I was going to basically dive over where the seafood is, and then go back and just kind of crash down, and then try to figure out a way out the back. I was coming up with an escape route because this guy was doing this.
Is Washington open carry state?
I assume so, based on that.
I mean, if he's walking like that, let's assume that it is.
Like, I know you got to have a permit to conceal carry.
Of course.
It is.
It is. All right, there you go.
Yeah.
Huh. All right.
I didn't know whether to feel safe or scared.
Ooh, here's somebody that chimed in that says, trust me, fellas, my dad's a cop. You can't hide from the dog.
No, you
So
cannot.
if the cops can't find you,
Right.
then the dog, man, there's a dude that's back in Baltimore at a Belgian Shepherd. And it looks like a canine dog. This dog was as far from a canine dog as ever there were, unless they specifically hired cowards. But anyway, I'm walking by. His older brother, he's walking toward me. He's like, man, that's a Belgian Shepherd, which surprised me because most people assume it's a German Shepherd because they look very similar. German Shepherd.
Belgian,
So
German.
he goes, that's a Belgian Shepherd, man. I was like, wow, dude, most people think it's the Germans. Nah, dog. I remember that breed. The riots in 1976. I don't know this guy, and he immediately is going back in time with this. The riots in 1976, man, down the Lexington Market. The po-po show up, man. Everybody scatters. I hid the dumpster, right? And they let these dogs go. And this dog found my ass in like 10 seconds. And I always remember the sound just going thump on top of the dumpster. And I could hear his nails clicking up top like that Jurassic Park ass, man. And he's like, that cop opened up the dumpster. That dog looked at me and went, ho, ho. So I put my hands up and said, you got me. I was like, so that's how you know? He's like, yeah. I was like, well, you're right. That was burned in brother's memory, man.
Sir, what kind of dog you have there?
Yeah, you don't forget something like that.
Nah, dude, he wasn't scared of my dog, but as he's retelling the story, you could tell he was scared to death. Man, they opened top of that dumpster, and that dog looked at me, just went, ho, put my hands up, said, you got me. I was like, have a good day, brother. You too, my man.
Who was hiding?
Shepherds.
And what were they hiding from? 206-803-ROCK.
You diet, you work out, and still there's that one stubborn spot. Hey, it's Jason. I just went after my stubborn fat by doing cool sculpting at Tureen Dermatology, Minnesota's top cool sculpting provider. Dr. Tureen is my dermatologist. We froze my fat, and those fat cells are gone for good. FDA approved. No pain, no downtime. Ranked top doctor 8 years in a row. Trust the experts at Tureen Dermatology. Call today, 651-633-6883, and say goodbye to stubborn fat.
T-Mobile's network can help keep you connected to all your favorite podcasts when you're out and about. Whether you're an early bird looking to dive into a daily news podcast or a night owl who wants to catch up on the latest reality TV drama, T-Mobile will keep you connected on their strong and reliable network. T-Mobile covers more highway miles with 5G than anyone. So if you need great coverage, especially when you're on the go, check out T-Mobile. Find out more at T-Mobile.com/CY. That's SEEWHY.
Nobody said adulting would be easy. Between work, family, chores, and activities, life can get real messy real fast. Good thing there's Simple Green All-Purpose Cleaner. Simple Green tackles even the toughest cleanup jobs in every room of your house. Simple Green has been a trusted cleaning brand for nearly 50 years, and it's now available in both lemon and lavender scents. So you get a cleaner that not only works hard, but leaves your home smelling fresh. Even better, Simple Green All-Purpose Cleaner is U.S. EPA Safer Choice certified for use around people, pets, and plants. Stronger, safer, fresher. That's the cleaning experience we all want, right? When life gets messy, Simple Green gets it clean. This stuff literally removes dirt, grease, and stains from any washable surface in your home. Visit simplegreen.com today to view their complete product lineup and discover where to buy in your area.
What do you do when your employee gets hurt on the job? Here's a story about Jay. He got hurt at work and couldn't perform his normal duties. That's rough, but there's good news. You see, Jay works for TISA, and TISA wants to do right by her employee. She knows all about L&I Stay at Work program, so TISA gets to keep a valuable employee like Jay on the payroll doing a light-duty job while he heals. And TISA gets reimbursed half of Jay's wages up to $10,000. Now, that's what we call a win-win. Learn more at lni.wa.gov/stay at work.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
A question, who was hiding and what were they hiding from? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Scotty. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, you sexy bitches.
Hola. And thank you.
You're welcome. So, it was my son, little 7-year-old jerk, sits outside my room every day. I wake up. Yeah, I think he waits there for like half hour or 45 minutes at least every morning. And one morning, it was the second time he scared me. There's this like little nook around the corner of the doorway, and he's like, "Ah!" And just a reflex, I just popped him right in the eye socket.
Oh no!
And gave him black eye. Yeah.
So
I tried so hard not to. It happened, and I was like, "Oh crap! Oh, you okay, buddy?"
Well, at least.
And yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say we answered the question of fight or flight with you, clearly.
So is this the last time, Scotty, that your son decided to try to scare you in the morning?
No, he's a little slow. He continues to do it every day. Or whenever he wakes up before me, I swear, he just stands there and hides and waits.
Are you kind of prepared for that now and know, like, hey, man, don't swing a punch and punch him in the face again?
Dude, I am not in my right mind when I wake up in the morning. I got to get like 2 cups of coffee in before I'm even thinking clearly whatsoever.
Kids do not understand that. Kids do not understand the difference between waking up as an adult and waking up as a child.
They like to have an instant conversation. An instant conversation. Like, I literally have just opened my eyes and you're mid-sentence.
If you ask me, am I asleep? That means I was.
Yeah. If you have to ask, you know that I am.
Are you awake?
And now I am. Yes, thank you
I'm
very
awake
much.
now, yes. Are you asleep?
So
I was.
Well, and he is one of the most wound up kids I've ever met. He is high energy all the way. He's like a sheepdog. If you don't give him something to do, you're screwed.
Now, were you the same way?
As a kid, yes. Now I'm 38 and slowed down.
Things hurt.
Yep.
Yeah. So, did you completely drop this kid like a sack of potatoes when he scared you?
Yeah. So I actually, that was the biggest and worst part of the story is I had to go in and talk to the principal and explain why my son had a black eye.
Did they believe you? Did they believe?
Well, when you say I punched him, they should.
Yeah. I told him, I was like, this is what happened. I came out of the room. He scared me and it was a reflex. And I just knuckle punched him right in the face. I mean, he's not a very big kid. I mean, I'm not a big dude either. I'm like 5'10", 180.
But you're 38 and he's 7.
Yeah.
I mean, right, you might not be a big guy, but still.
No. It was bad. I felt so bad. And he fell back on his butt. And I was like, oh, dude, are you okay? And he's like, ow. And so then we took him into the principal. I'm like, hey, dude, just tell him what happened. Like, no problem. I think it would have gone a lot worse, except for my wife volunteers every Tuesday morning for a couple hours. So they know how she is, and they've met me a few times through that. So everything was okay. They're like, okay, usually we're supposed to like call CPS when kids show up with like extreme bruises and especially black eyes.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, no. I was like, no, don't do that. I was like, it was an accident. I was like, it was reflex.
What did your wife think about this when you explained? I'm sure she believed you and understood, but did she still just give you that disappointed look?
No, she was standing right there making coffee while I came out of the room. She knew exactly what he was doing.
Okay.
And she just started laughing.
Does this kind of kill your morning sex game, knowing that your 7-year-old is basically standing outside the door?
Oh, no, there is no morning sex game ever.
All right. Okay.
As I said, I think a 7-year-old just kills that in general.
Yeah, you can't kill a game that doesn't exist, Miles.
Well, normally when you have a kid, man, you try to sneak it in whenever you can.
You do. So, we'll still do morning sex, but the thing is, it's not like we're getting up for the morning. It's that we both happen to wake up at 5:30 in the morning, and it's like, listen, man, now or never. Because by 7, these sons of bitches are going to be in and out of the room.
If you do that, then you start having the best sleep you've had all night.
Well, I think you really want to go back to sleep.
You do. And if you just even lay down for half an hour, you're like, oh, I could have slept for 4 more hours.
Oh, easily.
And before that, you could have gone, you got up and started making coffee or whatever, but you have a little sex in the morning, man. It's easy to get back to sleep.
It's good, but when it's still dark outside, like I said, it's one thing if you know you're getting up for work, right? It's just time to get up. But you kind of do that test touch. You know, it's like, well, I'm awake, and boy, am I horny. Mm-hmm. And as you kind of reach across the bed, you get a little response, you're like, yeah, it is unspoken, game on.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you awake?
And if they're not awake, you're not acting like you're trying to wake them up. You just do the thing where maybe your knee accidentally hits them in the butt as you're, quote-unquote, rolling over. And if that doesn't work, you sneeze really loud, anything like, oh, man, you're awake, cool, let's have sex. That's my strategy.
Who was hiding? What were they hiding from? 206-803-ROCK.
Good, you're awake.
You know what I could really
Basically, now we're the children.
I know.
Hey, you awake?
I understand that. This is purely for sex, man. Hey, you awake? Yeah. You awake?
Your breath is kicking. I don't mind if you kiss me, but not my mouth.
Yeah, that's one thing we did avoid a little bit fairly recently. Like, all right, we're having sex. We understand what time it is in the morning. If your mouth tastes like my mouth, while it is intimate, there's not a whole lot of kissing. No. You don't deserve that. Hello, Wes. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola!
Hola!
Howdy, boys. Anyway, sad story turned into a funny story. Mom passed away 2009, right before Thanksgiving, and we were just, doing what you do to deal with the nonsense. So we're partying, and we're drinking a lot, and we're just having a good old time, like 12 to 15 of us. And I go downstairs, and I'm like, oh, fireworks. Okay, I forgot I bought these right before she passed, and so I set off this giant round of fireworks, and then we run inside because my mom's favorite thing was fireworks, so we go inside and we, turn off all the lights, like high school kids, but, I mean, there's, 10 cars in front of the house.
That'll work.
Yeah, nobody will know. Oh, and so the local police show up, and they're knocking on the door, and they're flashing flashlights, and then finally I'm like, man, we're hiding. I was like, I'm just going to own up to this. So I go outside, and typically I'm the aggressive person. My little sister is not aggressive at all. And I go outside and I go, hey, you found me. And they're like, how many people are here? And I'm like, it's me and my sister and couple friends. My mom just passed away, and they're like, we have calls of gunshots. And I was like, cool. So you've never actually been in a gunfight, so you don't know what gunshots sound like. And they're like, what? And I was like, you've never been in a gunfight. I think you don't know what gunshots sound like. And my sister comes right out the front door, and she's like, if you touch my brother, I'm going to fight you and you. And I'm like,
how old is your sister at this time?
So I was 28 and she was 24, but I'm 6'4", I'm a big dude. She's 5'8". And so I bear hugged her and I go, you're going inside now. And I just walked her in the house and I closed the door and I go, hey gentlemen, can we I was very personable about everything. And I was like, hey, can we just, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about, but there's no gunshots, and I don't know who set off the fireworks.
Did they bring up the fireworks, or did you?
Oh, no, they brought them up because they went in our backyard and, found them on in the backyard, and I'm like, oh, that's out on my property, brother. Sorry. I don't know who did that.
So what happened?
What do you mean what happened? I shot off a bunch of fireworks.
All right, so then the cops just left?
Yeah, they just left. They were like, okay. I was like, I was not going to give them any evidence. Nah, dog. See you later.
Okay.
Does that qualify as hiding? I don't know.
Also,
the question we asked, we just said, who was hiding? What were they hiding from? At no point was anyone hiding. His sister threatened to fight cops. He went outside voluntarily and spoke to him. No one.
I think they were hiding at the beginning a little bit. I just think it's funny. He's like, I was very personal. I'm like, well,
you don't know
to a cop, you don't know what a gunshot sounds like. It's like, well,
that's kind of a, yeah.
And they heard reports of a gunshot. It's not like they showed up and were like, we heard your gun.
Right. That is how that works.
The report came out of gunfire. That doesn't mean that they actually physically heard
We
it.
don't know. This is what we're
They're
responding
asking
to.
questions because that was what the report said.
And that's why I said, how did this end? Like, I see a cop just getting annoyed with it.
Yeah, no. Who was hiding? What were they hiding from? 206-803-ROCK.
I like this story. It says, long story short, my buddy took a ton of cough medicine and started hallucinating and thought that the Hulk was chasing him. Oh. So he ran down Aurora from about 125th Street to the Jack in Box at 85th, which I'm very familiar with that territory.
Yeah, me too. Well, at least it's downhill.
Locked himself in the bathroom. The cops pounded on the door and asked what was going on. He said, do not open the door. The Hulk is chasing me. They had to break him out, and they took him back to his parents.
Yeah, that was a thing for a while.
What's that? Oh, the cough syrup thing?
Well, right, like, everybody talking about drinking lean and stuff. That's like cough syrup. But also, like, I remember people would down bottles of Dimetapp.
Yeah, it was Dimetapp specifically.
Right, because there's some DMT in it.
Uh-huh.
But I also saw an episode of Intervention. There was a guy doing that, like, every day. He was out of his mind.
Has anyone had to hide from their parents... from the girlfriend or boyfriend's parents? Someone here says, I had to hide under my girlfriend's bed when her mom came home early. I was there for the better part of 15 minutes, quiet as a mouse, just my pants on. She finally went to get in the shower. I made my escape. I never had that. I did that once, and it was my girlfriend's mom. Same kind. Her mom was just a horrible person in general. And it's not that she liked me or didn't like me. This woman just did not like anyone kind of thing. But her mom, again, supposed to be at work. We were actively having sex on the living room sofa. We see her mom pull up, man. She's like, you can't be here. So I'm in the coat closet. Luckily, it's summertime, because all I could think is, why would you have me hide in one of the first doors? It's like, hide in my refrigerator. Well, she's probably going to open. But she didn't. Didn't notice. Remember, he got there and heard her fussing and, what's going on here? Why is it so humid in here? All this kind of crap.
No way.
Swear to God. Yeah, we were having sex, dude. And if you walk into a room where someone just had sex, you know goddamn well they just had sex, right? There's just something in the air, a little bit of stink, a little bit of humidity. So, the living room basically was that. And it was right next to the front door. So you open the door, walk into our stink. So her mom's kind of questioning her, but never found me hiding in there.
I never had a girlfriend that young, like as a teenager. So I never had to do that. But I definitely had buddies we had to hide from his parents because we had screwed up.
Right.
And it was not good.
No, it never is. Never is.
Speaking of fireworks, a Chinese man who carried out a gas station robbery in 2009 and walked away with $22.50 spent the last 14 years of his life hiding from the cops in a remote mountain cave. The guy's name is Lu, from a village in a province in China. He's in his mid-30s when he took part in a gas station robbery along with his brother-in-law and another accomplice. Now, they ended up with $22.50 between them, 60 of which they quickly spent on food and fireworks, which left them with $4.60 each. The three men parted ways, but it wasn't long before police found Lu's accomplices and arrested them. Now, the man realized it's only a matter of time before authorities show up at his doorstep, so he decided to go into hiding rather than risk prison time. Little did he know he would spend the next 14 years in a prison of his own making. He spent days hiding in the forest while police searched his home and questioned his family. He eventually settled in a small cave and started hunting and scavenging for food, and occasionally venturing into the home village to steal things like potatoes and meat, see his parents for a few minutes. He was careful only to go during big festivals, when he knew most people would be in the main square. But even so, he was spotted by others, and police always came sniffing around for him. Now, it's unclear whether his family knew his hiding place, but if they did, they never told the police or visited while authorities surveilled him. That meant that he spent most of his days alone, with only a few stray dogs he had taken in to fend off wild animals at night.
Because you stole $22.
Yes. As the years passed, he found it harder and harder to put up with the loneliness and the constant stress of being discovered. Somehow he managed to live as a hermit for 14 years. Although his wife, and parents repeatedly tried to get him to surrender, he always refused.
Wife?
Wife. It was only this year that he finally realized that he'd locked himself away from the people he cared about so long. He missed his father's funeral. He missed his son's wedding. He never had seen his grandson. Last month, he finally decided to turn himself in. I'm over 50 now. My wife is not in good health, and I have such a lovely grandson. I want to live a normal life. He gave up that entire life, 14 years worth.
For $22. I mean, even if I'm a cop and you turned yourself in and says, hey, man, I robbed a gas station here. I made off. Was anyone injured? No. So let me get this straight. You stole about $20. Yes. And you've been hiding in the woods for 14 years. Yes. No offense. Statute of limitations over. Nobody cares.
Well, he still cannot escape his punishment, even though he condemned himself to a life of seclusion for 14 years. He still risks 3 years behind bars for his crime. So the fact the weapons were used during the robbery means that he faces up to 10 years in prison. Ooh. Despite the amount of money taken, robbery is still considered very serious and a criminal offense in China. I robbed 156 yen, hid in a cave for 14 years. I regret it.
I mean, look, I don't know, 14 years like that in a cave, like, you should have just done the time.
And if you see a picture of the cave, it is, in fact, a small cave. And you can see a little bit of his stuff he's left behind. But it's like, bro, nobody wants to get arrested. I get it. But I feel like by the end of the first week, I go, you know what, maybe this is not where I want to be.
Who was hiding? What were they hiding from? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Pam. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So this one's not me. It's my brother. When we were teenagers, he got in trouble all the time and was in and out of jail. So he learned how to run from the cops and actually get away with it. He was kind of a stinky kid.
Stinky?
So it's pretty stinky.
Okay.
He wasn't really a deodorant wearer. So he started carrying around dirty socks in his pockets. That way, when they do bring out the dogs, he could zigzag and throw the socks.
So he's so prepared to be up to no good. He's so prepared to break the law that he's bringing dirty socks, knowing that the cops at some point are going to come looking for him.
Oh, yeah. He was all about it. So one day he escaped the dogs with his dirty socks and he ran home. Well, we had a big attic, and anytime our parents were like, hey, you need to go take this in the attic, we'd just throw it. Like, it was a disaster.
Sure.
So my brother came home and he hid up in the attic. The cops came over, they searched the house for him. And later on, he came to me and he was like, yeah, the cops were up there and I was underneath this big box and they stood on top of me and they didn't know I was there. Like, holy cow, how did they not smell you? But he totally got away with it.
What was his major criminal activity at that time? What was he doing?
Usually stealing things.
Okay. How many times did he actually get caught?
Man.
I mean, did the cops know him by name?
Was he stealing stuff like from a gas station, or was he breaking into homes or stealing people's stuff out of their yards? What was he doing?
Usually it was from homes or out of yards.
Anything worth
there
money?
There were a couple cops that knew him by name. No, usually it wasn't really anything that was worth anything.
So, it's one thing to go into someone's house. I know that you're going to have jewelry, you might have cash, electronics, etc. But I feel like the yard, on average, like a garden gnome, a hose?
Yeah.
It's like big silver balls?
Yeah, to me, that it's like, I would say, like, if you're going to steal a car, I'm going to go to jail for the same amount of time as stealing a Ferrari versus a Gremlin. So steal the Ferrari.
Well,
if you're going to do
once
it.
Too.
Jesus Christ. What does he do now?
He works at a tile company.
Oh, okay.
All right. So he's still inside people's homes.
That's right. So he's
comforting.
He straightened himself out, I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
10 years were pretty rough.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was. There was a time where he took cars from where he had worked at the time.
From where he worked?
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
Oh, I borrowed a car from an employer once or twice.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But they never caught him for that. They knew that it had to be him because the stolen cars were always within a couple blocks of our house. but they never could prove it.
All right. Okay.
Man,
but
man.
He got caught for theft all the time.
So not a good thief, but a good escape artist.
Oh, yeah.
I often wonder, do you heal from that? Do you ever miss the urge to do that? It's like, look, you could quit smoking for 30 years, right? But that person will tell you, look, there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about having a cigarette. Of course. Because if you're addicted to something and you get a rush out of it and everything else, whether it's a physical addiction or whatever it is, it's always on your mind. So if that's...
I still have dreams about dipping.
If that's...
Really?
Yeah. Wow. You wake up, you got to check your bottom lip to make sure you
do it.
But I think kleptos can't stop it.
If you're a kleptomaniac, right, there's something definitive.
But I think for somebody like that, and this is just my theory, is that maybe he was just young enough and found it so easy. It was just fun to do.
Do you think you could ever have a dip like at a party? Or if you're at a festival or something, just you could not just have one dip?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I've thought about it a lot.
Well, no, because my theory on I quit smoking for a while was like I could just have a couple cigarettes.
No, you can't.
And the answer is no.
And look, everyone I know that has tried to quit smoking.
No, that's not how it works.
You know, and we have a couple of coworkers who also, at some point, have given up smoking for a pretty decent amount of time. And they're like, dude, can I bum a smoke? And I was telling them, I'm not going to do it. Because I don't, look, if you start smoking again, you can bum smokes for me. But if you're telling me you're trying to quit and you've been going strong for a couple of months, like, I am not going to be the guy that gives you the smoke, because I know how this ends. Once you smoke this, you're back smoking again.
It's the same way with booze.
Absolutely.
Like, I know people that don't drink, and they're like, you know what, man?
No.
I would like to have a beer with you. And I've used that same line. Like, look, if you start drinking, it's none of my business. But, like, I don't want you to be your first beer.
Not with me.
Right? And then I'm going to feel
I'm
bad.
not re-popping that cherry, brother. It's not on me this time.
I do that with virgins.
Not me.
No.
Go have some sex.
You go have some good sex
Come
first.
back.
Right. Then I'll
disappoint you for the rest of your life.
Exactly. I'll show you what the bad sex is all about. Who was hiding? What were they hiding from? 206-803-ROCK.
Odyssey celebrates Pride by amplifying the voices, music, and conversations of the LGBTQ plus community. Download the free Odyssey app and listen to podcasts celebrating and having conversations about the issues facing LGBTQ plus Americans, like It's Okay to Say Gay, Queer Intentions, and The Bald and the Beautiful with Trixie Mattel and Katia Zamo. To hear music by and for the LGBTQ plus community, plus podcasts and more, go to Odyssey.com/pride or download the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
If you're a contractor, it's now easier for you to do business with the Department of Labor and Industries. Go to lni.wa.gov/skip the line and make an appointment with us ahead of time. No waiting around, no wasted time away from your job site. You get in, get out, and get on your way. Easy. So contractors, just go to lni.wa.gov/skip the line to make an appointment and get back to doing what you do best.
Dealing with an accident and injury claim can be overwhelming. Let Phillips Law Firm fight for you. We understand the pain and suffering, and we're here to guide you through. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today for a free case review, or visit justiceforyou.com and let Phillips Law Firm help you on the road to recovery.
Whether you're driving, cooking, or doing laundry, Progressive knows the podcasts you listen to go best when they're bundled with another activity. Much like how their Progressive home and auto policies go best when they're bundled. Having these two policies together makes taking care of your insurance easier and could help you save, too. Customers who save by switching their home and car insurance to Progressive save nearly $800 on average. That's a whole lot of savings and protection for your favorite podcast listening activities, like going on a road trip, cooking dinner, and even hitting the home gym. Yep, your home and your car are even easier to protect when you bundle your insurance together. Find your perfect combo. Get a home and car insurance quote at Progressive.com today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $793 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2021 and May 2022. Potential savings will vary.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Drunk people tried to evade police by hiding inside a teddy bear has been sentenced. Joshua Dobson, he was wanted for theft and driving offenses. He tried to fool the Greater Manchester Police in the UK during a search on his house in July. However, the officer noticed a large bear that was breathing and found the 18-year-old hidden inside. He was sentenced to 9 months in a young offenders institution. Four spokesmen said he was sought by us after stealing a car in May and not paying for fuel the same day. So we went to arrest him. Our officers noticed a large bear. breathing in the address before finding Dobson hidden inside. He said Dobson was now stuffed behind bars after being convicted of car theft. Hopefully he has a bearable time inside, he added. Our question, who was hiding and what were they hiding from? 206-803-ROCK.
I was one of those giant ones from like Costco.
That's what I'm picturing. Because I think it's a brilliant place to hide if you can hold your breath long enough for the cops
Do you
to
think
get
he
out
bought it specifically to be able to hide?
I'm torn because, so we had the lady who called and said her brother was always up to no good, dirty socks guy. So I think if he's kind of on that tip where everything he does is up to no good, then probably... Like, hey, I'm going to buy this, just sit in this thing. No one's going to give it. I wouldn't think to look in there. It just wouldn't cross my mind, right? Because otherwise, yeah, he had to get it for that reason, because he got inside of it. Right? If you get a giant stuffed teddy bear, it's not like they have this opening.
Exactly.
That's made for you to get
and there's stuff, so you have to unstuff it. I mean,
he clearly has he's probably done it before. That's my guess.
I've only seen one of those, or two of those stuffed teddy bears in the wild. It was at a festival. They were crowd surfing.
The teddy bears were?
Yeah, somebody just brought them and kept putting them up. And they were like surfing all around. Then the next morning I was going for a little walk and I was like, oh, you're camped it as the bears. And they were like, yeah, and somebody took one last night.
If you bring a giant stuffed animal to a festival, my assumption is that it will be stolen.
Somebody's probably cuddled up with it in their tent.
Right. Miles, you're exactly right. It showed back up in the afternoon. But at 9 a.m., a man just swilling tequila from a bottle said, will you help me find it? And I said, can I have some of that tequila? And he said, yeah. I said, yeah, man.
Game on. That's not it. We got a couple of texts here. It says, hola, I'm Chrissy from Tacoma. Hi, Chrissy.
Hello, Chrissy from Tacoma.
Hi. My husband and I used to take the BB gun out back and find a variety of targets to shoot. We'd shoot button batteries and the flame of a lit candle. Well, we've been doing this for fun for years. Well, one night, we're shooting the BB gun. It's around 9 p.m. We take a shot, and all of a sudden, we hear a scream and the lady saying, what was that? It stings. So we hit the deck. Ooh. We hid, laid as flat as we could. She was out there searching the bushes between our houses for a good 20 minutes. We just laid as still as possible in the dark. Eventually, she went in, and we could not stop laughing for whatever reason.
Who was hiding, and what were they hiding from? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Daniel. Welcome to the men's room.
The liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
How you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Awesome. All right, so it was me and three other friends, teenagers. This was about 30-some-odd years ago. We were, Friday night, decided to get a bunch of acid and had a bunch of fun with it. And while we're out in the woods, just farting around, being teenagers. And all of a sudden, this police officer shows up right in the middle of the woods on our trail. And we're sitting here looking at this quarter sheet of acid, and it had this big old purple octopus on it. And we look up, there's this police officer, and we're like, oh, S, right? My buddy rolls it up, and he tosses it as nonchalantly as he could off to the side. And the police guy, he just, walked right past us and went right to the blotter. And he's like, what's this? And we were like, I don't know, right?
Postage stamps.
Right. Old tiny blotter postage stamps. And so anyway, nonetheless, so with the four of us, two of them were on bikes, two of us were walking. And so he knew what it was. And he says, well, so what's your guys' story? And well, my other two friends on the bikes, one was they were spending the night at each other's house. And I was supposed to be spending the night at my other buddy's house who was walking. And so he told us to go to his house. Me and my buddy said, he told us you guys need to go to your house, and I'm going to take these two on bikes down to his house where he's spending the night. What we didn't know at this point was the cop was going to do due diligence and go to each of our houses and wake our parents up and let them know that we were out causing mischief all high on acid. We didn't know this at this point in time. So the cop leaves, follow my two buddies on the bikes, take them down the road about a mile. Well, me and my buddy, we're like, oh, F this. We're not going to your house because your mom's going to flip.
Yeah, of course.
So we're hiding out in the woods at this point. We go from the woods that we were in, that we got busted in, and we hop over across the street over to another apartment complex's woods. It was log 1 and log 2 is what we called it. So we were over at log 2, and we were in there for 45 minutes. And we were like, well, crud, man. We can't be sitting in here either. We got all paranoid now because we were all frying balls. Well, anyway, so at this point, we were like, okay, well, we got to take off. So we decided to take all the back roads and trails that we could through 3 sets of different woods to get to his house. And we figured out how we could get there, right? Well, we're walking along, and then next thing, we hear this car. And he asked me, what's going to happen if, and this is a stupid question, but it was a great one, what's going to happen if it's the cop? And I said, well, he's going to bust us, dumbass. And sure enough, it was a police officer. So then he's like, well, you guys are supposed to be over there already. This is like an hour and a half later. And so he handcuffs us, and he takes us up to the local cop shop, which, by the way, was a crematory at one point in time turned into a police station.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, I know, right? So now the sun's coming up on this wonderful, beautiful Saturday morning. I'm crying, and we're supposed to be sitting here making statements. Well, when we were out in the woods for that hour and a half, he'd already gone to my house. He'd already gone over to my buddy's house, and he went over to the other person's house who was on the bike. He went over to his house as well. And all of us teenagers ended up in the cop shop with our parents. Now, no charges were pressed, but it was quite a trip.
To say the least.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, typically, depending what you're doing, the cops just want to drop you off with the parents because they know that will be worse than whatever little pissant kind of sentence you're going to get for being a minor.
But to ruin that experience of being in that state of mind and having a good time and running around at night, that's a fun time. As long as you're not up to no good.
Right. Well, it didn't seem like they were up to no good. They're just, other than the illegal drugs, but just tripping in the woods, man.
That's
which is a great place to trip.
How old did he say? How old they were?
I think he said like in the 16-year-old age range. Right. So at 16, you don't know that the cop's basically going to slap your wrist, but they're going to go to your parents. Because they're not going to tell you that, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying also at that age, you can't just go somewhere and chill.
You can't just go somewhere and chill, right? There's no doubt. And I mean, between the ages of, 14 to probably 25, when you're up to the worst you're probably going to do in your life, hopefully. If we saw the cops, we always ran. I mean, every single time. To the point you even wonder why the cops would show up. Like, if I'm a cop and say, this is going on, nothing violent, nothing crazy. It's like, how old are they? If you say anywhere, we believe they're about 21, I'm not going. Look, man, I'm going to show up and they're all going to take off running. I'm not chasing after them. Like, we know how you can break up the party, but everybody scatters. Because some of them just say, cops. And even though you weren't doing anything, the instinct was everyone takes off, everyone's dead silent. Immediately. You hope to reconvene somewhere else, but there's no chance you're going to stick around and deal with the cop.
Well,
I don't know what age.
It's just part of it. Like, they just want to break up the party.
Of course they do, but you never really understand. When you're that young, you don't really know how real simple it would be if you just stuck around. So you always take off. And I don't know what age it is where now you're just like, yeah, you got me. You know what I mean? Like, if I were up to no good now and the cops came, I'm not running, dude. My ankle's hurt. I'm tired. Like, you got me. I did wrong. Take me to book me. Do what you got to do. But, man, when you're young, you say cops, that's like Houdini.
When I got pulled over, when I got pulled over in Oregon, same thing. Guy came up to me. He's like, how fast are you driving? I was like, pretty fast. Right. He's like, I don't remember, but pretty fast. He's like, you're going 86. I was like I said, pretty fast.
Yeah. I mean, that's it.
What's he say? When that row house lived in Baltimore, you came by once. So, we had so many parties that the cops were used to, and they didn't care, but they were always doing the same thing. They were super nice, and they would just say, hey, look, first warning. Right. And then there was one cop specifically, if it was a Friday night, because that must have been his shift. And he was just like, if I come back the third time, seriously, you guys are going to be in trouble. Right. He's like, I know some of those people aren't 21. Blah, blah, blah.
We're tired of getting the call, man. That's basically what they're telling.
Right. So that was always kind of our thing. Like, when the second time the cop showed up, then we would kick everybody out.
You have to.
Yeah, right.
Who was hiding and what were they hiding from? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Mary. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Nice. Okay, so I have a story. Back when I was in high school, I was probably 17. I need to preface this with, my mom was a single mama. I was a single kid. Growing up, she was pretty protective, awesome mom. Anyhow, so like I said, I was about 17. We lived in very rural Washington, and the boyfriend at the time had snuck up and knocked on my window. I opened the window, and I was talking to him through the window. We were making plans to, go out, whatever, meet in the forest. Anyhow, we were a little too loud and woke up my mama. And she comes to my door with her shotgun, and she's like, oh, my gosh, I think somebody's breaking in. And I'm like, oh, no, because I'm not going to tell her it was my boyfriend knocking on my window. And so we go out through the living room to the front porch, and we have a lower pasture that has like a well house down there. On the backside, there's a hill. Pretty safe area to shoot. But anyhow, she was like, "Oh, I think they're down there." The grass was rustling down there and everything. So she pops off a couple shots off the shotgun towards the well house. And I'm like, "Oh my God, I hope she didn't just shoot my boyfriend." I didn't see him. We didn't see him.
Did you keep it together as your mom's popping off shots? And you're like, "Oh my God!" Did you keep your panic inside, or could she tell that maybe you had an interest in who she might be shooting at?
Well, I think I kept it inside because I don't think she ever knew until later in life. But there was, the grass was pretty short. I was pretty sure he wasn't hiding down there, but I wasn't absolutely positive. So, that whole night I was so anxious until I could talk to him the next morning. Back then we didn't have cell phones. It wasn't that late, but
did you?
I feel like I would have broke character at that point and been like, "Don't shoot, it's my boyfriend."
Right. I mean, just like, "Hey, man, I know you're going to be upset that my boyfriend showed up, but you can't kill him." Did you have a hard time sleeping that night?
I did have a hard time sleeping that night. But like I said, I really didn't think that he was down there. Like, I don't know. I think she shot it more as a scare tactic for if somebody was breaking in, like, "Hey, I have a gun."
What was your mom's name? What is her name?
Oh, I can't tell you her name.
Her first name. I mean, is it like a Belinda or like, you should have known not to mess with this girl's mom kind of thing name?
Yes, it was definitely one of those.
Like a Tammy Jo or something?
Right. Oh, but you had Joe to the end of it. It's like,
mom's name is Mary. I feel like I have a chance.
You're fine.
Beth, I mean,
she'll judge you, but she won't kill you.
Exactly. Laura,
so did you find out where your boyfriend was hiding?
Okay, so the next morning, like first thing when I could use the landline and not be suspicious, I called him and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, did you hear what happened last night? Where were you?" And he's like, "Actually, I was hiding under the truck in the driveway. I saw the whole thing. I'm not sure I'm going to sneak up and visit you anymore."
Yeah, I think that's a good call.
But why don't you come over my place?
Why don't you meet me at the tree?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But no, he was under the truck, safe and sound, so it was kind of crazy.
Good times.
Yeah, kind of crazy. Just a wee. Well, someone breaks out a gun, man. I mean, that's a good time night. My buddy Leon, he worked at McDonald's. He hated working there, but he had the breakfast shift, so he gets there, 4:35 in the morning, whatever it is, but before they open, and he gets home from work one day. He always came home kind of angry. He opened the door like Kramer on Seinfeld. I mean, it just swung open. His face just looked angry, so you had to ask him if he was angry or not. Because sometimes he'd be like, "I'm in a great mood," but he looked like a clown, so it's hard to tell. But this day, he comes home, he's just shaking his head, lights up a cigarette, and he's just pissed, man. Like, "What the hell happened today?" He goes, "Man, I already hate working there." But he's like, "It's just me. I'm just trying to open, okay? We're not open yet. I'm just getting stuff ready." And it's like the door to the McDonald's flies open. His brother that I do not know jumps over the counter. He thinks the guy's going to rob him, right? Jumps over the counter, hides under the registers, looks up at me, and puts his finger in front of his lips like, "Shh." He goes, "Man," about 5 seconds later, 4 more brothers come storming in. They got their guns out, all right? And they're like, "You seen this in blah, 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 blah." And so he looks down at the guy who's hiding, who looks very, very scared, as well he should be. Leon's like, "He's right there, fellas." I was like, I said, "You timed him out?" He goes, "Man, I'm not taking a bullet for anybody." And he goes, "Look, man, these cats," I kind of recognize one of them. Like, you don't mess with these dudes. But he goes, if they found out later that I was lying, he's like, "They'd come back for me." So he's like, straight up like, "There he is." And he's like, so they snatched his ass up, put him in a car and drove off. He's like, "I don't know what happened. I did not see
what happened.
You can guess, but he's just like, "I don't play that." He's like, "It ruined my day."
Who was hiding? What were they hiding from? 206-803-ROCK.
I mean, that wouldn't ruin a day to start it.
He's like, "I haven't even opened yet, and already crap is going down." I'm telling you, man, fast food on the East Coast is a unique experience.
And that's the McDonald's I'm thinking of, right?
It is exactly the McDonald's you're thinking of. And that's why that happened there.
That's the famous one. We got a Big Mac. Didn't have a middle bun.
You bring it up?
Is that near the University of Maryland Medical Center? Near Lexington Market?
That is not that one. He worked there a little bit. This one was closer to where Ted was. And this place, look, there's no McDonald's in Baltimore City that you want to walk into because I can't even explain it. But that one near you, Ted, was notorious. That's like, look, going to prison is bad, but if you said I'm going to Leavenworth prison, it's a lot different than other cats, right?
Yeah, like nobody I knew, everybody was scared. I had one buddy, and we would go over there, and then we maybe went there 5 times, and we were like, "All right, we got to stop."
Was it daylight?
It was.
I don't go there at night, brother.
Right, I was gonna say, but one time we went over there, and there was a little, some store, like a little, not what do you call them, the shopping, not a real mall, strip mall,
plaza kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and we got out of the car for something. Some dude was just like, what in the F are you two doing here? And we're going there. And he's like, don't go in there. And I think that was like, well, we're done with this McDonald's.
Yeah. Let me tell you, like, no, man, what are you stupid?
They gave you a Big Mac without a middle bun?
Correct. They were not about to fix it. And it was just,
that's not the place you go back.
do not return food.
My order isn't what I wanted. Get the F out of here, bitch. Enjoy what we gave you, whether you want it or not, man. Yeah. Say something else, bitch. Seriously, I mean, that's honest to God. When we first got to Seattle, all right?
And it's just that neighborhood. That's nothing to do with where we were.
But Seattle, right? So when we first moved here, went into McDonald's specifically to grab breakfast. And when you see the TV commercials, it's always, good morning, welcome to McDonald's. Can I help you? And we just thought that was TV stuff. Because in Baltimore, we're like, what do you want, bitch? Seriously. I mean, like, that's how you order. Mm-hmm. So I remember walking to this McDonald's here, and this lady turned around and said, good morning, welcome to McDonald's. What can I get you? And I almost fell over. Like, are you filming a commercial or just really? I've never had this experience, man. I have been threatened. All I did was order something they didn't feel like making. Man, that means I got to turn on the deep fryer. I'll bitch slap. But like, Jesus, what's on your menu, bro?
Guy I worked with, he used to stop by. Most of the time, if you're heading to work in the morning, Dunkin' Donuts is open 24 hours a day. They have a drive-thru. You can get a coffee anytime in the morning. So between there, Royal Farms, and 7-Eleven, you can always find a coffee somewhere. But he went and got, whatever he got with his order, they messed up a sandwich.
This is McDonald's?
This is a Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay.
And this is the Dunkin' Donuts by his house, which is between where we worked and where he lived. So this was his regular Dunkin' Donuts place. And they either, I can't remember whatever they did, they messed the sandwich up. I don't remember if he got a croissant, they put it on a bagel, or it was ham and he wanted whatever the deal was, sausage. He just circles around and goes back through the drive-thru, but he does not stop at the speaker.
Okay.
He just continues to pull up. Like, he just does a circle around and he says, hey, man, my sandwich is messed up. And the guy who served him, he's like, you were never allowed to come here again. And he's like, dude, it's the wrong sandwich. He's like, you are never allowed to come here again. I never want to see your car. I will never serve you again.
That's customer service there, bro.
Just because he gave him the wrong sandwich. He went around and said, hey, man, can I return this and get a sandwich I wanted? He's like, you are no longer allowed here.
Jesus Christ.
He's like, I just returned the sandwich.
How did we live there? Every time I go back, I'm like, what the hell, man?
And I'm such a, like, I stick out like a sore thumb when I go back now.
Who was hiding and what were they hiding from? 206-803-ROCK.
Walk the dogs, school drop-off, meetings from 10 to 3, take kids to soccer, then no time left for a jog.
When everyone else is relying on you, it's easy to put your needs last. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist online, so you can show up for yourself the way you do for others. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/positive.
Love the skin you're in with Hand & Stone Massage and Facial Spa's facial services. Enjoy the tranquility and deep relaxation while giving your skin a rejuvenating glow. All facials are tailored to your individual needs using the highest quality ingredients designed to give you healthy, radiant, and younger-looking skin. Visit any one of their 8 Seattle Hand & Stone Massage and Facial Spa locations or book online at handandstone.com. Restrictions apply. See spa for details.
You diet, you work out, and still there's that one stubborn spot. Hey, it's Jason. I just went after my stubborn fat by doing cool sculpting at Tureen Dermatology, Minnesota's top cool sculpting provider. Dr. Tureen is my dermatologist. We froze my fat, and those fat cells are gone for good. FDA approved, no pain, no downtime. Ranked top doctor 8 years in a row. Trust the experts at Tureen Dermatology. Call today, 651-633-6883, and say goodbye to stubborn fat.
KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
50 years. It's been 50 years since Dark Side of the Moon came out. Woo! Taryn Daly is hooking you up tonight. The Dark Side of the Moon in its entirety, starting at 6 o'clock. 50 years. Check it out right here at 99.9 KISW on your smart speaker on the free Odyssey app. I believe she's going to spin it until about 9 o'clock tonight, commercial-free, front to back, non-stop.
How long is the album itself?
I would guess
from your classic rock. I mean, I own it at home. I just never thought about timing.
You got to remember,
42 minutes.
Yeah, it's a single LP, right? So with that, back in the day, you could get about 45 max out of one album.
Right.
So with that in mind, she's going to probably play it about 5 times. All right, Dark Side of the Moon in its entirety coming up with the lovely Taryn Daly right after we get out of here at 6. Our question: who was hiding and what were they hiding from? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Dave. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola de cholos.
Hola.
How you gentlemen doing today?
We're doing great, Dave. Thanks, man. How about you?
Not bad, man. It's nice to not see the snow in the yard all day again today.
I agree with that any day of the year, yes.
Yeah, it was a lot better today.
Hell yeah. So who was hiding, Dave?
Well, we moved up here about 21 years ago, and we live in Lake Stevens, and we bought a nice big cedar A-frame house, and it's about 4,300 square feet total because the basement is finished as well. But my youngest son, who's now 30, when he moved up to live with us, he on the main floor, the second floor of the house, there is right in the middle is about an 8-foot square tile with a pellet stove there, and the stovepipe goes all the way through the top of the house.
Right.
But it was built, and so all the wood structure is such. And he could climb up above that to the ceiling of that room and basically the floor of the loft that was there. And he could squeeze in between the piece of wood and just hide there. And he would do this over and over again. I'm going, honey, you know where Glenn is? She goes, no, I don't. We would go looking around. I don't know how he could do it. But, I mean, to this day, he's like 6'3" and 145 pounds. But they came up and visited us for Thanksgiving this year with two of my other kids and their families and stuff. And he said he turned 30 in November. And I looked at him and I go, can you still do that? At 30, he was literally able to do a chin-up, pull himself up, and squeeze in and roll into that crevice that he could fit into, and he still did. I was like, damn.
He must have hated you two.
Or guess what? If the law is ever looking for him, I guarantee you that he's at your place hiding in that A-frame.
Who was hiding? What were they hiding from? 206-803-ROCK.
That is one that kids really, really need to understand that if you're going to hide, your parents need to know that that's your... Like, if we can't find you because you're hiding, I don't panic. But again, if we don't know you're hiding, we do panic. It's a guarantee. We had a guy texted in earlier, and his kid was like 5 years old, hid somewhere in the house. But he, again, did not know that the kid's playing a game of hide-and-go-seek. But he goes, man, the front door was unlocked. It was only 5 minutes, but it's like, it was the worst 5 minutes of my life. Mm-hmm. It is hard to explain that.
Didn't you say your kid was playing hide-and-go-seek but didn't tell you?
We were in Mexico. It was at Christmas. We'd rented this house, and they had this big-ass Christmas tree. Kind of like when you open the door, you were greeted by the Christmas tree. No big deal, but we had just gone somewhere, but we had just walked in the house. And basically, the time it took to, take your shoes off and that kind of thing, she's gone, man. All right? And my son's maybe 4 or 5 at this time, so he's not much help, and he does not know where she is either. So we're shouting through this house. There's no response. Where this house is located, there's 80 steps to get down to the street, and there's a couple of other houses along the way, all right? So I'm out there going up and down the stairs, and at my age, not a lot of fun. Freaking out, handshaking, and there's that weird adrenaline rush you have, man, and you just don't know what to do. So we're both freaking out, and then we're starting to argue with each other like, well, we would have heard her leave the house. It's these big-ass stone and tile houses. If you make any sound, it echoes. Cannot find her, cannot find her. Finally, she pops out. We did not find her. She popped out on her own from behind the Christmas tree. And she's like, surprise! So it's this weird thing where I'm real happy to see her. I'm real happy to see her, but at the same time, I also want to pick her up, stuff her in a cannon, and shoot her into a cactus, right? And I was like, what were you doing, man? It's like, well, I was hiding. I'm like, from what? She said, well, I was playing hide-and-go-seek. So I had to take this deep breath, put my hands on her shoulders, and I said, baby, listen to me. The single most important rule of hide-and-go-seek is that everyone knows that you're playing hide-and-go-seek because you were missing. That's what that was. And I'm like, we've been yelling for you for 5 minutes. I think that's what pissed me off the most. I know you heard us yelling your name. You did not make a sound. So to your credit, you're great at this game. Flip side, you got to let me know next time.
But no one knows you're playing.
Yeah, no one knows you're playing. You're missing. It's different.
Who was hiding? What were they hiding from? 206-803-ROCK.
Suck, dude. I'm telling you.
No, I'm just
hands shaking and your eyes are wet.
Seek with a kid, they're not that good.
They're terrible.
But if nobody knows you're playing the game, they're awesome. right?
They're the best ever. Hello, Gina. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola. Mike was convinced I was going to call you Gina. He just gave me a thumbs up because I said Gina. See where his mind is.
You make me want to bleep on the air. It's not like I've never heard that before.
I know, but I'm the guy that usually would take advantage.
Trust me, that's not me making fun of your name. I had so little faith in his ability to go Gina.
This is why most people spell it phonetically, so that there's little chance of error.
Yeah.
But Jeena?
Yeah, exactly. Or
well, what happens in Canada?
I see
Because
it's lots of ways, but
it's Regina.
Start with the J, and you're good.
I thought they said Regina.
It is Regina in Canada.
I think they're just being snarky.
But Regina is a name that you would.
Right, Regina's what you name your kid. Canada's like, nah, Regina. Y-A.
Regina. All right, Gina, who was
I'm
hiding?
really glad my name's not Regina. That would have been even worse. Gina's good.
That's better than being a kid named Enos.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So I was raised in a pretty fundamental Christian religion. My mother was, thank God my father wasn't, but she won the war on where I went to school. And I went to a boarding Christian high school. So I lived in a girls' dorm. There was the admin building and then the boys' dorm on the other side. When you were driving up the hill to the school, it kind of looked like a prison.
How often do you see your parents if you're at a boarding school?
So some kids, this was outside of Boise, Idaho. I was only about 30 miles from home, so I could go home about every other weekend. And then we had certain breaks, like every 6 weeks or something like that for long weekends. Some kids were there from California, so they didn't see their families much at all. So it just kind of depended on where you were. Some kids drove back and forth. They were considered village students, so it just kind of depended on your situation. But, you know, your parents send you to a place like this because they think they're sheltering you from the world and you're not going to be exposed to drugs or pressures for sex or things like that. They're going to protect you in this little bubble.
Let's put boys and girls in dorms.
Where you're
come on.
Exactly. You're in a bubble where you're just right up next to all that stuff, whether you want to be or not.
Right.
And it was always amusing on our hall in the girls' dorm at night. So the girls' dean lived in an apartment in the dormitory. She was a cranky, crotchety old lady who hated me because my brother was 5 years older, and he gave her, I guess, a ration of trouble while he was there. But when she would go to bed, we had hall monitors, essentially, so generally an older girl who would be in charge of making sure that no one was getting into trouble. Well, it was common knowledge that boys knew how to sneak out of the boys' dean and would usually, or boys' dorm usually would end up at the girls' dorm. And in order to try to prevent this interaction, they had what were called lead locks on our window screens, that if you had a pair of scissors, you could cut the wires that kept the screens in, and the boys could come into the dorm. And the thing that was amusing about it was one boy was a frequent flyer at the dorm with several different girls. It was not always the same girl, and he wore very strong cologne. And because of the way that the ventilation worked in the dorm, pretty much as soon as he entered the building, we knew he was present because his cologne would just waft up and down the hallway.
All right.
So he was very good at hiding because he did, he made friends with several girls who invited them to join them in their rooms. So we never really saw him. The hiding worked. We just always knew he was present.
I can smell his presence.
Do you know what kind of cologne it was?
Drakkar.
It was definitely in the Drakkar era. It could have been Drakkar, but I'm going to say no because I still like Drakkar, and I don't like whatever that cologne was.
Polo by Ralph Lauren.
Probably Polo.
Gray flannel. I was going to say, you go through like phases, right? So like,
right.
Polo Sport was a big one.
Sure.
And I wore that in my 20s, but you're right. Like Bernie always had Drakkar Nor or whatever in his car. Like, there was a few that were just standards. eternity.
Well, did you ever see this guy? You only knew he was there because of the stink of his cologne.
So yeah, I saw him a few times, and with a blush on my face, I'll admit I was one of the girls whose rooms he visited once upon a time. And I don't know
really? Was it worth it? Was it worth it? Was he that much of a Casanova?
Oh, hell no.
All right, but he was there, he was available, and you're stuck there.
He must have been good looking, I guess.
Yeah.
Good enough.
Actually, I have to admit, my best friend was a dude. He was dating my roommate, and the only reason this guy got into my room was because my best friend showed up with him in tow. So,
all right. Now,
He's like, all right, I'll take the leftovers.
After you throw down with this dude, does your bed smell like him after he leaves?
Yeah, thank God the laundry room was across the hall.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Good times.
Yeah, he was, like I said, I'm not sure how, well, maybe other people were nicer than I was. I'm pretty sure that...
All right.
Yeah. We got you.
Damn.
So he can write with it.
Pencil D.
Who is hiding and what were they hiding from? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Melissa. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
I think it was about 5 years ago, I was recently divorced, and I was living by myself in Edmonds with my kids. They were 4 and 9 at the time, and my 9-year-old was out with, I think she was with her grandparents that weekend. So anyways, I went to bed at regular time in my room, and my son went to bed in his room, and I don't know if any of you guys ever had this happen with your kids where they like to do this creepy thing where they come and stand next to you in the middle of the night and they don't talk.
My daughter did that to me once. It scared the bejesus out of me, and I told her, please do not do that again.
Is that a sleepwalking thing, maybe?
They're kind of waiting for you to wake up.
Yeah, it's just a terrifying thing that all 3 of my kids have done, where if they want something, and it's like they think they're being kind by waiting for me to wake up, but I can always just, feel their presence.
Yeah, you can. You wake up out of a dead sleep, like, there is someone near me. Yeah.
Yeah, so I woke up, it was 2 o'clock in the morning, and I woke up because I just felt like somebody was standing above my bed. And I open one eye, I remember, and I look in the hallway, and in the silhouette of my kid is in the door, but he looks big, because it's dark, and I go, Liam, and he goes, yes, Mommy. And I said, what are you doing? And he's like, I had to wake you up. And I was like, how long have you been standing there? And he said, about 3 minutes.
But how long?
3 minutes. I don't know if he had any concept of time.
He might not know.
So I was like, what is going on? And he's like, there's a man at the door.
Oh.
And I look at my clock, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I look at him, and I go, are you serious? And he's like, yeah. And I offer for him to come in to my room, and he comes over to me, and I go, there's a man at the door? And he goes, yeah, a man. He wants to mow the lawn. And so immediately I'm thinking Stephen King Lawnmower Man. And I asked him 4 or 5 more times, are you serious? Are you sure there's somebody at the door? I go, did you go to the door? And he said, yeah, he's got a lawnmower. And so I was freaking terrified, and I picked him up, and I'm a crazy person, so I have this weird thing where everywhere I go, if I'm going to be there for a while, it's a place I'm going to stay at or whatever, I have an escape route, for when someone's going to murder me. So I already knew where I was going to hide him, So I picked him up on my shoulders and shoved him up in the cabinet above my closet. And I stick my head out the door, my bedroom door, and I look down the hallway, and the front door is wide open.
Oh.
And I've never been so scared in my entire life. because I didn't know if somebody had came into my house or if somebody really was just at the door. But I walked down the hallway, opened the closet, grabbed my machete. I karate kicked the door shut. And I'm terrified. And then I walk up and I look through the peephole, and there's 3 policemen outside and a German Shepherd and 2 police cars in my driveway. And I opened the door, and my heart was just racing, and I put the machete behind me, and I was like, hello? And they're like, yeah, are you okay? And I'm like, no. My son just basically told me there was a man at my front door who has a lawnmower for me, and I thought I was about to get murdered. And they're like, oh, sorry, that's our fault. We knocked on the door. Or they're like, he let us in, actually. We were outside looking around. Yeah. So apparently, and I found this out after I talked to my son, these cops thought it was hilarious for some reason. They told me that the reason they were at my house was because there was some guy pushing a lawnmower on the sidewalk outside of my house. I wanted to see if he stole it from me. And
so your kid was telling the truth.
But how they did that was walking up to my 4-year-old's bedroom and shining a flashlight in his bedroom, waking him up, and then he went to the door because they did come here, kid, through the window.
Jesus, man.
I was like, I could have been shot. I just answered the door with a machete.
I like the fact that you got a machete on hand.
Well, it wasn't on hand, it was in the closet.
Right, but
Gotta
still.
keep a machete in the
Some
house.
bad habits.
And Melissa, if it makes you feel any better, as you've told this story, a text came in that just says, F, tell her to write scary novels.
Yeah.
That's a pretty tense
Move to
story.
Edmonds. It's family friendly.
Gee, I just can't imagine, your kid says that, you look at your front door and it's wide open.
I'd be terrified.
Real uncomfortable.
Coming up, the return of Who Sucks Less. You are listening to The Men's Room.
What you watch depends on what kind of mood you're in. Sometimes you're craving comedies like Friends or South Park, and sometimes you're more into dramas like HBO's Succession and House of the Dragon. There's also cooking shows like Chopped and Beat Bobby Flay, and even movies like The Lord of the Rings and Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Well, Max is the streaming destination that has the best of entertainment for whatever mood you're in anytime. And plans start at as little as $9.99 a month. Max, the one to watch. Subscription required. Visit Max.com.
T-Mobile's network can help keep you connected to all your favorite podcasts when you're out and about. Whether you're an early bird looking to dive into a daily news podcast or a night owl who wants to catch up on the latest reality TV drama, T-Mobile will keep you connected on their strong and reliable network. T-Mobile covers more highway miles with 5G than anyone. So if you need great coverage, especially when you're on the go, check out T-Mobile. Find out more at T-Mobile.com/CY. That's SEEWHY.
Odyssey celebrates Pride by amplifying the voices, music, and conversations of the LGBTQ+ community. Download the free Odyssey app and listen to podcasts celebrating and having conversations about the issues facing LGBTQ+ Americans, like It's Okay to Say Gay, Queer Intentions, and The Bald and the Beautiful with Trixie Mattel and Katia Zamo. To hear music by and for the LGBTQ+ community, plus podcasts and more, go to Odyssey.com/pride or download the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
If you're a contractor, it's now easier for you to do business with the Department of Labor and Industries. Go to lni.wa.gov/skip the line and make an appointment with us ahead of time. No waiting around, no wasted time away from your job site. You get in, get out, and get on your way. Easy. So contractors, just go to lni.wa.gov/skip the line to make an appointment and get back to doing what you do best.
Most of you listening right now are probably multitasking. Yep, while you're listening to this, you're probably also driving, cleaning, exercising, or maybe even grocery shopping. But if you're not in some kind of moving vehicle, there's something else you can be doing right now. getting an auto quote from Progressive Insurance. It's easy, and you could save money by doing it right from your phone. Drivers who save by switching to Progressive save nearly $700 on average, and auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Discounts for having multiple vehicles on your policy, being a homeowner, and more. So just like your favorite podcast, Progressive will be with you 24/7, 365 days a year. So you're protected no matter what. Multitask right now. Quote your car insurance at Progressive.com to join the over 29 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $698 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2021 and May 2022. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
Are you dealing with a personal injury? Don't go it alone. Turn to the experienced team at Phillips Law Firm. Their attorneys have helped thousands of clients get the compensation they deserve. Call Phillips Law Firm now. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Who Sucks Less coming up at first time for a few emails from the men's room at KISW.com.
You've got mail.
Couple from our question today. Who was hiding? What were they hiding from? Guys, 83. I'm staying the night at my girlfriend's, so we decided to have our boyfriends come up and sneak in and have a little fun. Wow. They ride their bikes about 4 miles, get up there and knock on the window, and my friend screams. That wakes up her dad. The boys go running to hide. But my boyfriend, he had to hide under the deck. So her dad walks out on the deck with a shotgun looking around, and he's seeing his feet about 6 inches from his head. They had to stay hiding for about 30 minutes until they could get in. We had some fun, but could not seal the deal. 30 years later, though, we got back together at our high school reunion and made up for the lost moment. That from Julie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, finally.
30 years.
I bet the body's changed a bit, but the actions remain the same.
I think so. Yeah, but sometimes, man, when you're just attracted to someone,
oh, yeah.
I mean, 50 years later, like, I'm hitting that.
Yeah. That's why I say all the time when you're 20 years old, have sex with the lights on.
Yeah.
It's as good as it's ever going to look for both of you.
That is true. That is true.
When I was about 7 or 8, I was in a friend's house throwing a football in the backyard. A particular friend had a next-door neighbor who was known to be a coked-up hothead, and we had a couple run-ins with him. Before we had accidentally tossed a Frisbee or a ball over the fence or whatever. We always apologize, a low fence, but he was so mean. So we got into hopping the fence quickly to get him back instead. On the day in question, I drew the short straw to go get it, and as I just made it over the fence, I heard the guy shout behind me, "That's it." We saw him run back into his house. He came out with a rifle and started shooting. Both me and my friend ran and hid behind the stairs of a deck, terrified and crying. Well, my friend's mom came out of the noise, ran back in, called the cops. He continued shooting in our direction. So a SWAT team came to talk to him and talked him down, eventually carted him away. And I never saw him again. I get we were annoying, but talk about an overreaction. A little bit, Terry.
A little bit.
Buddy and I are about 8. It was in Russia, USSR, mid-'80s. Playing outside, decided to go to a bunch of factories in the area, which were guarded by armed military guys. Threw a firework near the guardhouse, and when it went off, 3 of them dropped to the ground. And then we started laughing, so one of them chased us. We ran deeper into the factory area, eventually saw a fire ladder to the roof of the wooden factory. Climbed it, thought maybe he wouldn't find us, but he did. He had to jump off the roof into a pile of bark, which we would have never done, but then we did. Luckily, we landed unharmed and ran away and hid in someone's backyard. Took us some time to clean our ears, nose, eyes, and clothes. Scary part, a few days later, when that pile was cleared, there was a wood-cutting machine in the middle of it.
Oh, Jesus.
Missed by a foot or so. Good times. Thanks, guys. And one more from the question. Guys, working as a cop, I found people hiding in weird places. One day in July, several years ago, we arrived at a home to look for a guy violating a protection order. Began the search of the house. Arrived on the 2nd floor. This place was a big sty. It was hot. A pigsty, I guess. Got up to the 2nd floor and split off the other 2 officers. Started searching a room facing the sun. I didn't see anyone, but decided to open up a cabinet, at least 4 foot tall off the floor. I opened the first door and noticed a pair of shoes sitting upright. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The shoes, the pants. I opened the second door and saw that there was a guy that we were looking for. He was flung into the door and heard him crying. that he was only taking a nap in the cabinet and didn't want to go anywhere. Rock on, guys. That from Juan.
I'm napping in the cabinet. Okay, yeah, I believe that.
As we move on to the birthdays, gentlemen, today is my rockin' son's 5th solar revolution. Could you please give Caleb a little kid face sandwich, a happy Chinooka, and some advice from Coach Ted about being a half a decade old? Thanks, gentlemen. Appreciate you guys very much. That from Kirk.
Fish salad.
Happy Chinooka.
5th birthday, huh? Tell you what, son, enjoy it now. A couple years from now, you'll be in school all day long. You're 5th, though. You're still probably in kindergarten, doing that half-day thing, getting the naps in. Here's another one, son. Take that nap. You're going to get to an age where you wish they demanded you had more snacks and naps in your life. That doesn't happen to you. But also, it's your 5th birthday. Coach usually says get a burger. Not today. Coach says you look your mom or dad straight in the eye and you say, I want pizza. 3 slices.
Oh, big 3 slices. Yeah.
Kids will be pooping all night.
Gentlemen, time of the year again. Our beautiful daughter Serena celebrating a birthday, now 7 years old. Would love to hear Mickey and Goofy talk about how many unicorn stuffed toys she should have. And also, why do unicorns poop candy sprinkles? Love you guys. That from Juan and Lasima.
Well, gosh, that sure is an easy question. You should have no less than 100 unicorns. Now, 2 reasons. Look, the reason they poop little rainbows and sprinkles, because that's what they eat. But the real thing about unicorns, it's where glitter comes from. It comes from the glitterers.
You know, sometimes at the park, we got to take care of that dog. Amount of stuff, plushy unicorns. That's a tough one. I don't know. Depends on your parents, but I'd say at least 25. How are you supposed to sleep at night if you don't have a stuffy, plushy unicorn with you? And the sprinkles thing, well, that's just normal for them.
All the guys, coworker, and I have birthdays today, born the same year as well. So tell her that I'm her twin brother from another mother. How about a happy Chinooka? Thanks, guys. Love the show. That from John.
Happy Chinooka.
Bitch, it's my birthday again. It's a big one. I made it to 30. And what I love most in the world is the same thing. I've requested the previous couple years, which you've all delivered on and brought quite a smile to my face, and hopefully others. Mike, mash a bunch of sound bites as fast as your glorious fingers can do it. Nice. Rock on, brothers. That from Patrick from beautiful Lexington, Kentucky. Oh, gentlemen, my friend Gwen down in Portland celebrates.
Second dose.
Oh, gentlemen, my friend Gwen down in Portland celebrates yet another orbit around the great nuclear fireball. Let's get her a couple of shotgun gits and a barbershop fish sandwich. Thanks, guys. And liquor and whores, that from Dennis.
I get a fish sandwich, so you know I gotta eat right. Yeah. Brother, can I have a fish sandwich and put the cheese and the tartar on the side?
Yeah. Guys, it's my beautiful wife Tracy's birthday. Can we get a Can I Grow Up? And the Dirty Germans suggesting what I do with her tonight from her loving husband Kirk.
Can I grow up?
Actually, it's Dirk. Boyfriend's Kirk.
It's Dirk. Yeah, well, if tonight's for her birthday, maybe she will dirk you.
Yeah, you should try some Nowitzki. So you stand real far away, but still make it into whole.
Guys, today's my sister's birthday. She was one hell of a cool sister growing up. Probably one of the coolest aunts my kids could ask for, and a badass mom to her 2 kids. For her birthday, can we get an OG fish sandwich and a Suck It Up cupcake? Thanks, guys. That from Tyler in Puyallup.
Do I get a fish sandwich? So, suck it up, cupcake!
Badass sister with no name. Please help me give a birthday shout out to James, big 34th. When he gets home, there will be a lasagna and a Go Shorty It's Your Birthday cake, courtesy of the Snoop Dogg cookbook. I could use some help from the Dirty Germans, explaining how I might have forgot to put the baking powder in there. Thanks, guys. That from Jolene.
Yeah, clearly Jolene does not know what she's doing. She's letting you know that her cake is not going to be very good, but I bet you her pie is juicy.
Yes, you know, we were talking about cakes earlier today, me and Mr. Hawk. So hopefully she has his packings of cakes.
Yeah.
Guys, today's my husband Alex's 34th birthday. I just want to let him know how much I love and appreciate him. He would love the Dirty Germans talking about his biannual birthday lovin'. Thanks, guys. That from Taylor?
Yeah, in the Deutschland, biannual means we invite men and women for our birthday.
Yeah, I think it's very nice and, you know, not kinky at all. It's a German. It's that, you know, once a year, you bring in his buddy.
Yeah. We are down for that.
Maybe it's her buddy.
Yeah,
Who's the buddy?
Guys, happy Hub Day. Today, my husband, Tab, celebrates his 48th time around the sun. He's an amazing husband, father, grandfather. He and the other two Tabs in our family are longtime listeners. In fact, all three Tabs and Tim are probably smoking the devil's weed right now listening after a hard, cold day of construction. So how about a big old bong rip? I'll cut that bitch off, and the dirty German's telling him how I'm going to warm him up tonight. Thanks, guys. That from April.
Cut that bitch off! Next caller.
Yeah, you don't need to know what April is going to do you tonight. All you need to do is do your best work on April, because if you do it right, you'll be sprayed with April showers.
Yeah, so, I always think, it's fun time. As your wife comes over and she brings those 4 Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
They just watch in the background. Sometimes Donatello lets you use his stick.
All right, guys, here we go.
Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Now, the Men's Room wants to know who sucks last?
Yay! Time for Who Sucks Last. Stephen Thrill, you bring us 3 stories from the news each and every week. They all suck, but it's up to us to determine out of the 3 stories which one sucks the least. Now, if you happen to follow KISW on Twitter, the debate is already underway on Who Sucks Less.
Yes, indeed. We have a story about car thieves, and oddly enough, I don't believe they're the people that suck the most in the story, as far as how I choose to evaluate it. We have a TikTok video that's gone viral, which brings me many, many questions. I don't know if anyone has answered. Finally, we have, people in Florida letting us know that they're from Florida. So let us start with this first story. Now, you might remember this story from Monday. Our very own Mike Hawk brought this up in his headlines. Maybe you don't remember. Either way, here's a quick recap. So a couple of thieves, they came up with a plan this month. They'd go to an airport parking lot, pick out a sweet ride, claim they lost their IDs, have a locksmith rekey the vehicle, and then steal it. So you're like, that seems awfully elaborate. All you need to know is it worked. So a man named Sean Coffey, he recently flew back home from a business trip, only to find that his Ford F-350 had been stolen from the Park Fast and Relax parking lot at nearby Hobby Airport in Houston. Well, employees told him it's all a misunderstanding. They said a couple claimed that the truck was theirs, and they needed to have it rekeyed. So a locksmith was called, and after 3 hours, they drove off with the truck. Now, that's despite both of them not having IDs, both of them not having keys, parking tickets, or anything that could prove who they were. Keep in mind, they don't even have a receipt that says, hey, we parked the truck there. They still said, no problem, we'll call the locksmith. So the good news is, Sean did get his truck back. Police say it turned up during an incident at a nearby hotel. Still unclear what the incident was or whether or not they found the thieves. But there's some serious missteps from both the parking lot staff and the locksmith, all right? So Sean was told to go back to the parking garage, and they'd provide him with surveillance footage of the thieves and the locksmith. But when he got there, the manager told him that those are private videos and they need to provide a court order to get them. So they're requiring court paperwork to get the footage of the thieves that they let rekey and steal the vehicle without anything to show who they were or that they owned the vehicle. So this poor guy, he just wants to know who stole his truck. And they're like, well, we'd love to help you. Even though it's kind of our fault, we can't release those videos. They could. They're choosing not to. So that's number one. Number two, you may have seen this. There's a video going viral on TikTok, and for good reason. It looks like the airline employee tips the luggage weight scale intentionally, all right? So if you've ever been on a trip, maybe you weighed your luggage ahead of time to meet the airline's requirements. So the weight limit is 50 pounds, and anything over that's going to cost you. If you fly Southwest Airlines, which is the airline this guy was on, that weight fee will cost you, any guesses?
I just assumed you had to take clothes out of the bag or whatever you could.
But they put it under, but they charge you. If you're overweight,
$30 $50 a bag. So what is it?
$75 a bag. So if you're over 50, Southwest specifically, $75 a bag. Well, the man in the video had clearly weighed his bags ahead of time. So when the scale hit 51 pounds, he notices that the airline employee had her knee slightly on the edge of the scale, but he called her out. So she pulled back her knee, and guess what? Once she removes her knee, the luggage went down to 49.5 pounds. It's close, but you still don't have to pay the $75. I'll tell you why that one really bugs me. And now we go to Florida, where one was arrested for shooting a neighbor in the face. with a water pistol. Renee Bolduc, she was inside her residence at the King of the Road mobile home park in St. Petersburg when her neighbor, Nicole Hosmer, walked by the property. Just walked by the property. Bolduc exited her home, stood on the porch, where she took a water gun and squirted the victim in the face. Now, Hosmer never went onto the defendant's property, nor did she make any aggressive statements. She was literally just walking by. So Bolduc allegedly squirted Hosmer in the face because she was, quote, except that the victim was walking, quote unquote, on her street. Hosmer lives a few lots away. Anyway, Hosmer obviously not injured in the shooting because it was water, and she's not the Wicked Witch of the West. But anyway, she was arrested for misdemeanor battery and booked into the county jail, for which she was released after posting $500 bond. The water pistol, believe it or not seized by the sheriff's deputy. So basically, you have the park and ride, as it were, in Houston, where not all of it's on them, but they made it very easy for the thieves to do something and will not help this guy track down where the thieves are. You have the Southwest Airlines lady trying to press down on the scale so this guy has coughed up $75 additional for his luggage. And you have the crazy woman shooting neighbors. I just want to say with the Southwest thing, I don't know. If your baggage is overweight, whatever the airline, they charge you whatever that fee is. My understanding, this is not a cash transaction. You break out your credit card.
Oh, yeah. There's no credit. No cash.
All right, so that's what bugs me about this. Because that means this is the policy of Southwest Airlines. The lady meeting on the scale.
There's no way that she can make any money off this.
She does not. If this guy owes $75 more, it's not like he hands her cash and she, right? That means Southwest, and of course they would deny it. I get it. On some level, says, hey, if you can do it. Because all that money goes to Southwest. If you do it,
okay, so my thought
that's my issue.
So my issue was, I was like, is she just doing this to do it? Because obviously she doesn't get paid for it.
That's what I'm saying.
Here would be my thing. I'm a woman who weighs 115 pounds. Mm-hmm. My baggage is 51 pounds.
Right.
All right. That puts me at 166 pounds. That's less than most people's body weight.
Right.
So in the end, man, just come up with a better system for this. But I will say this. As far as who sucks less, it's going to be the crazy neighbor in Florida. First of all, you're in a trailer park in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Yep.
You understand you're in a trailer park. You understand that you're already putting your life in danger by being in a hurricane area, living in a trailer park on the beach in St. Petersburg. You know people are crazy there. You know where you move to. You get a water gun to the face. Deal with it. You know you have crazy neighbors. You know where you live. It is right there on the paperwork, man.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to say the guys that stole the truck. Just because that's just an old school crime. I think the Southwest lady is just being mean and nasty to be mean. I think the water pistol lady is just being mean and nasty.
She did crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, those are just criminals.
The criminals. And to me, the worst part of that story is the park and ride itself. Like, we'd love to help you after we effed you, but now we're not going to help you. Like,
that's unreal.
Come on, man.
That's unreal.
Good times. Coming up, we'll drink and tell us for the shot of the day. You are listening to The Men's Room.
Imagine you're looking at a balancing scale with everything you do for other people on one side and everything you do for yourself on the other side. If it isn't balanced, maybe it's time to spend a little more time on you. And therapy is a great place to start. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist online who can help you find that balance and stick to it. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/positive.
Love the skin you're in with Hand & Stone Massage and Facial Spa's facial services. Enjoy the tranquility and deep relaxation while giving your skin a rejuvenating glow. All facials are tailored to your individual needs using the highest quality ingredients designed to give you healthy, radiant, and younger-looking skin. Visit any one of their 8 Seattle Hand & Stone Massage and Facial Spa locations or book online at handandstone.com. Restrictions apply. See spa for details.
You diet, you work out, and still there's that one stubborn spot. Hey, it's Jason. I just went after my stubborn fat by doing cool sculpting at Tureen Dermatology, Minnesota's top cool sculpting provider. Dr. Tureen is my dermatologist. We froze my fat, and those fat cells are gone for good. FDA approved. No pain, no downtime. Ranked top doctor 8 years in a row. Trust the experts at Tureen Dermatology. Call today, 651-633-6883, and say goodbye to stubborn fat.
If you're a contractor, it's now easier for you to do business with the Department of Labor and Industries. Go to lni.wa.gov/skip the line and make an appointment with us ahead of time. No waiting around, no wasted time away from your job site. You get in, get out, and get on your way. Easy. So contractors, just go to lni.wa.gov/skip the line to make an appointment and get back to doing what you do best.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
All right, coming up next, we'll drink and toast with the shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check out with Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
All right, Aruba is offering a free vacation to folks that want to come down and be their weather person. In a job that they're calling the easiest job on earth.
In Aruba?
In Aruba?
In Aruba.
I didn't bother to look at my satellite. It's going to be another great day.
Wait a minute. It's a free vacation? Or do I have to stay and do it full time?
That'd
be nice.
Didn't fully work on this one, Ted, but I did. Like, if you would like to...
I mean, I want to be a weather person anywhere, but Aruba doesn't sound bad.
No. Well, Aruba's out of the hurricane belt, so they never get hit.
Right.
I mean, they will eventually, like anything else. But where they've been sitting right now, they haven't had one in like 50 years.
And they call it the easiest job on earth because they have the same doggone weather every single time.
ABC Islands are always like that.
Exactly.
Oh, then I could be Dutch.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not sure you get your citizenship that way, but you know.
If you go to Curacao, you go to Willemstad, it's almost exactly like going to Holland.
Dutch Ted.
Well, I'm just saying, that'd be pretty cool then. Like,
Yeah.
sure, like I do the weather in Aruba, but I'm also Dutch. I go to the Netherlands. They probably welcome me back like a Norse god.
He wears clogs.
Welcome back. I mean, back? All right. We're just going to stop at welcome.
Come home, brother. Look at this town. It's one of the greatest towns I've ever been in.
You know what else you'd like about Aruba, Miles?
What's that?
I just know this randomly. One of their famous dishes is soup.
All right, what kind of soup?
It's hot.
And everybody thinks it's weird because it's Aruba, it's warm, but it's like a Dutch thing. There were so many Dutch settlers, they were used to this soup they always ate. So it's like their like country dish. It's
right. Aruban soup.
I gotta look that up, but I saw it on some food show, and I was like, oh, all right.
Sure, it has sauerkraut and rye bread.
If I order a Reuben sandwich in Aruba, will I get the Reuben that I know, or will they give me a sandwich that is native to Aruba?
You'll get a Cuban.
They would,
you know what I mean? Can I get a Reuben sandwich?
They would call it the Aruban Cuban.
The Reuben. Yeah. The Reuben.
The Reuben. There's a new Pokemon-themed sleep tracker releasing soon that'll pair with Pokemon Go. Basically, it'll
Wait, what?
It'll turn into a game after it goes off, and then it's going to pair with the game. So
But you're asleep.
So here's my thinking, because there's a lot of other little side things that you can do with that game. It's been a long time since I played the game, I'll be honest with you.
Sure.
But there's things that you can do while your phone is not active, as it were. You don't need to have the game on. So my guess is that if you sleep for 8 hours and it tracks it, then you know, like an egg that has a Pokemon inside of it that you picked up. Now, if you sleep for your 8 hours and that egg will hatch in the morning or whatever it
That's
is.
to let you know, like, you know, so-and-so character stared at you for 6 hours while you slept.
Pikachu took a Pikachu.
Right. Oh, damn.
Pikachu's finished.
Pikachu waiting for you to yawn.
Damn, Ted.
It's not me, it's Pikachu. Yellow pervert.
Oh, yellow perv.
Yeah. Sneaking around, watching you while you sleep.
He just bites his little lower lip.
They call it Pokemon.
Pokemon goo.
Yeah. God, Pokemon goo.
Yeah.
Pokemon.
No. 45% of singles say that they'd ask about personal finances on a first date.
What? On a first date?
Wow.
That
seems aggressive.
That seems deep.
I was trying to figure out who's
trying to
paying.
get to know you.
Well, if I say, like, do you have a job? Like, does that count?
Right.
Do you plan on keeping this job?
What do you do for a living?
How much do you make for a living?
You know what, Miles? That's a much better way to go about it and be like, you got a job?
How much money you make?
Hey!
Can I borrow $5?
Oh,
Seriously.
you make that? You're paying for my dinner tonight.
So we're splitting.
Right.
Yeah. Do you, like, you're going to keep the job?
Or to get I mean, if I know the job, okay, don't order the lobster.
Because I'm looking for a life partner, not a freeloader.
And right now,
if it's free, it's okay. Breweries are starting to use AI to create new beers.
I don't care. I read that and I'm like, man, that's weird. Then I'm like, if you make a good beer, good.
Sure.
That's it.
What about the poor brewer that's going out of business? Because now our computer's coming up with it.
It should have gone with brewery that's hiring them.
What's that?
It's the breweries that are hiring them.
I'm worried about the young brewer.
The young brewer.
The young brewer.
Just keeps making a delicious Pilsner.
Yeah, some kid that's 13. You know what he's dreaming about? Becoming a brewer. Sure, he hasn't had beer, but he likes beards and hoodies.
He does.
As we navigate life, one thing that always comes up is finances, oddly enough. And when it comes to finances, we tend to find different things that we can cut or exchange in our lives, which does take us to
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10. Things to stop buying that'll save you tons of cash. I suggest you stop buying KY jelly. Vaseline works just fine. If you're not sure where to find it, ask your mom.
Oh, damn.
Damn, all right.
I mean, look, in general, the older generation's going to know what that Vaseline is.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, they are.
Hey, that's not the worst advice he's given us.
No, it is not.
I don't know what KY jelly was.
God. So these are the 10 things to stop buying that'll save you a ton of cash. Name brand items makes the list.
Sure. I mean, yeah.
I feel like that's one of the first things that starts to go, realizing like, wait a minute, this off-brand stuff, actually, it does the same thing.
And half the time, the off-brand is the brand that you bought. It's just with a different label.
Correct.
Right? Hence Kirkland brand.
Right.
We hired the best people to recreate whatever it is, but in the end, it's the exact same product.
Well, and even then, doesn't it not have to necessarily be Kirkland? Aren't there these big companies that will just make the same product with a different brand name to kind of break things up?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but it's still the same-ish thing right there. So, yeah.
Hey, again, that's just one of those things getting older.
Yep. Bottled and canned water makes the list.
I would agree with that based on where we live. But in other areas, that's not even feasible.
Yeah,
so like my mom has not drank tap water in 25 years because you can't drink it.
Right. I mean, depending where you are, but overwhelmingly.
But here,
does a Brita filter work in that area at all?
Oh no,
man!
Oh god!
Right?
Brita did not sign up. Seriously,
water overhaul. I replaced her stainless steel sink in her kitchen because the water eroded it.
No kidding.
Oh yeah.
I was asking out of pure ignorance. I had no idea. So
dishwashers, washing machines,
and canned water, Mr. Hill. You had some at Pain in the Grass.
Did I?
I know you don't remember. It's
Hell no, I don't remember. It's literally in a can.
What about box water?
You know what? Box water's good. Keep buying that. But the bottles and cans.
There was definitely a period. I feel like anymore. Like if I buy a bottle of water, I'm like in a car or something where I just
right. Yes, I am dying of thirst, and I'm not in a place where there's a tap.
Correct. Apps and in-app purchases. That's just common sense to me.
I'm not a big fan of apps, but certain things. Well, I just look. Like I said, I'm a caveman. But certain things you have to have the app. So I have time to go to a concert, go to a sporting event. We need to have our app. And I'm like, look, man, I understand, but it's very, very frustrating and annoying to me. There's nothing wrong with just handing you a ticket, and I get the hell in there. But everything goes to the app, and then, look, it used to be like this, right? We went to the Dragons game a few weeks ago. My wife's on top of all this stuff. We got season tickets. Mike is a part of that season ticket package.
Oh, you?
But it used to be, you would just hand me the tickets. I would have handed them to you when I got to work.
Right.
Gone away, but instead,
I
had to send tickets to Mike in case we get there at different times. So I also sent Mike your ticket. So in case you guys get there at a different time than we do. And I'm like, it used to be, here's 3 tickets. Right. I'll meet you at the game. We're done. Right. It's over, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now like screenshots don't even work. I was frustrated today. I'm like, I already signed in for this app. Now I got to reapply just to get my tickets?
And they're never in the right spot.
Yeah.
It'll be in your wallet, but it's not.
Right.
So now I have to save 9 different versions of the doggone thing.
All that stuff, man.
Meals Out makes the list of the things that you need to stop buying to save you tons of cash.
I mean, they're 100% correct, but I do feel like with the Meals Out, it's more the time you're going to enjoy.
Sure.
We're not going out because we don't have food at home. We know we're, quote, unquote, going to waste money if we go out, but We're going to grab the kids. We're going to go out, and it's just fun. We're out. Right. You know what I mean? And we're not
paying for an experience.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You don't have to make it. You don't have to do the dishes when you're done. You just got to find a spot in the fridge for what you didn't need.
And that experience that I generally have is watching my daughter take 8 hours to finish any fruit. You can get her a bowl of Jell-O, and it's like, how are you still eating this?
I feel it.
Why do you take so long? And it's not like she's just running her mouth. Every time I look at her, she's chewing. I'm like, how have you only had 2 bites?
Mm-hmm. And sometimes, too, it's just a hankering for something.
Right, that I cannot do at home.
Yeah.
Hey, man, look, I make homemade pizza a lot, and by comparison, it effing sucks. You know what I mean? It's like, let's go to the place. €1. Right. I can make €1, but I'm not going to buy. I want to go out and get
That's a very good
Indian food. A lot of people like Chinese food. You're not going to hook it up the way they do it in a restaurant.
No.
You know?
They say greeting cards. All those $3 and $5 purchases really do add up.
I got to stop that.
You really do.
How many do you buy a year? It'd be one thing if you had to buy one every day.
I'm done with that game.
I have like anniversary,
Valentine's.
Valentine's, and I'm
Let the
done.
boys drop, right.
There's nothing else.
Right. Maybe a card at Christmas.
Now, that's a picture of the goddamn family.
That's right.
You know what I mean? No one like sends a Christmas card. I have to look at your ugly ass family.
Man, that's a good question. I think maybe 2 or 3 cards a
I got
year?
Valentine's Day, wife's birthday, kids' birthdays. Honest to God, that is it. So it's 4. So if I spend $3 to $5, I'm spending $12 to $20 a year.
I give my wife a card all the time.
That's what he actually has flowers for.
I do.
Couldn't believe it. I walked in this morning. Mike's got these flowers. I know they're not for him. And so I asked, I said, you okay, man? He goes, yeah, I'm fine. How are you? I said, I saw those flowers. And it's a beautiful, beautiful little bouquet you have there. And I was like, because I figured either you effed up. Nothing
There's
positive.
a doghouse with my name.
Did he blow the surprise?
Oh, no, she ain't listening.
Okay. Because I was thinking, like, what did you do?
That was my thought. I said, I know it's not your anniversary. I don't think it's your birthday, so you must have effed up. That was my...
Why I buy flowers. Uh-oh.
Dryer sheets makes the list. It says
dryer sheets?
Invest in a few reusable wool dryer balls instead.
Wool dryer ball?
They look like tennis balls.
Right.
Huh, really?
But the thing is, I'll get bounce sheets, but they got so many of those doggone things, and I don't have enough laundry to care.
Well, the good thing about the dryer balls is, as far as wrinkles go, if you really pack the dryer
balls and the wrinkles.
Yeah, I mean, you don't. I mean, because typically, you get wrinkles, but with those balls,
I just like the way they smell. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
When you open the dryer, I'm like, I don't care about the wrinkles. I'm a drunk. It doesn't matter. But man, I smell
dryer
good.
sheets do you use?
One per load.
Yeah, just
3. Per load?
I don't. Yeah, I'm at least 2.
Really?
If not 3.
Okay, invest in some dryer balls, my man.
I mean, I guess I should, but
You know what
that's
you
just
need?
a luxury I don't want to give up, Brad.
You know what you need? Dryer balls.
Not just Mike, the doctor as well.
They really help with the
I
static.
recommend a talc.
They really help with the static. Paper towels and napkins is on the list. Things to stop buying that'll save you tons of cash. Which,
to me, paper towels and napkins are one and the same.
Right. They say a 36-pack of microfiber cloths costs you about the same as a 12-pack of paper towels.
I got my microfiber cloths. Those are used to dust.
Yes.
That's just me.
Like, they're different uses. I don't...
Yeah, paper towels, like... Hey, I'm just a slob. I feel like there's always something to clean up with a paper towel.
Guaranteed.
Like, if I don't have paper towels in my kitchen, I'm like, well, you're so dumb, Ted.
Yeah, like when my dog puked the other night. Like, cool.
Yeah.
Grabbed the paper towels. And then I found the other puke that my wife didn't notice. And we had more paper towels. Yay.
Number 3, impulse purchases.
Well, sure.
That's just...
I mean, it's
just
an
knock
impulse
that,
purchase,
Knock
right?
that off
Yeah.
in general.
That's what I'm bad about.
That's why they call it an impulse purchase. We know we don't need it.
Number
but we're
2,
buying it anyway.
But they don't put apples next to the checkout, right? They put candy, like chips,
magazines,
right.
Slim Jims. We know you're hungry, fatty.
Yeah, like you just grocery shop, but you probably room for candy bar.
You know, you're right. They don't have like a Slim Jim section.
No.
It's like they're at the red. You're standing here. You're staring at it.
Plastic baggies is at number 2. It says
Like Ziploc bags?
Yeah. It says reusable baggies cost about as much as a big pack of sandwich bags.
Well, but they're
Reusable baggies. Okay.
Even the ones you buy now are reusable.
Good work, Miles. Jesus. But then this is the number 1 thing. Reusable baggies.
Reusable baggies.
Number 1 thing to stop buying that'll save you tons of cash. Television cable.
That's true. Well, now you can. Right, so it's a big difference now.
Yeah, I still don't know about that one anymore because like people spend so much on streaming services, like you're spending just as much.
And if you buy a cable package, half those streaming services are included.
Right.
Yeah.
As long
you already
as
get them without having to.
But
pay
also, it
the
depends what you want to watch. Mike, what is it that like you don't have? Like certain sports come on, you're like, I can't watch it.
I can't get the route.
Right. Right, exactly.
That's the root.
Right?
So
it's
basically
like
root.
that.
It's sports.
If you did it a la carte, which cable's apprehensive to do a la carte, but I'm going to let cable in on a secret. That's what streaming is.
Right.
I specifically picked this because this particular streaming service has the S I want to watch.
Give me a cheaper package where I can do it a la carte.
Or sit down and talk to the Golf Channel or the Outdoor and say, look, man, 99% of our customers do not use you, so you
I don't need a subscription to the movie theater. There will be movies that I like and movies that I don't. But when I want to go to a movie, a la carte, I don't have to have a subscription.
I don't have to watch every movie.
I just go and pay for what I want to watch. Even if I like a team, a college football team, whatever, basketball team, there are some games that are not that important. I don't need the whole season.
Right.
You can offer me that. But if I want to pay for just one game, charge me a little more.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, I'll go like, all right, does this weigh? Should I just get the subscription for the whole thing?
Exactly. A thief in Ohio might have gotten away with shoplifting if he wasn't paired with the worst getaway driver possible.
Why is that?
Tell you all about it at 5:50.
You're about to hear it. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, let's get a contestant online for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK.
What you watch depends on what kind of mood you're in. Sometimes you're craving comedies like Friends or South Park, and sometimes you're more into dramas like HBO's Succession and House of the Dragon. There's also cooking shows like Chopped and Beat Bobby Flay, and even movies like The Lord of the Rings and Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Well, Max is the streaming destination that has the best of entertainment for whatever mood you're in anytime. And plans start at as little as $9.99 a month. Max, the one to watch. Subscription required. Visit Max.com.
T-Mobile's network can help keep you connected to all your favorite podcasts when you're out and about. Whether you're an early bird looking to dive into a daily news podcast or a night owl who wants to catch up on the latest reality TV drama, T-Mobile will keep you connected on their strong and reliable network. T-Mobile covers more highway miles with 5G than anyone. So if you need great coverage, especially when you're on the go, check out T-Mobile. Find out more at T-Mobile.com/CY. That's SEEWHY.
If you need rehab after surgery, help at home, or if you need a place to enjoy the best years of your life after 60, Carriage is here for you. Carriage is a family-owned healthcare and senior living company that puts people first. Let us provide you with short-term, post-acute rehabilitation at one of our skilled nursing facilities in Bellevue and Renton. Expert in-home care and support to clients throughout Washington. Or enjoy a vibrant retirement in elegant, amenity-rich surroundings in Washington and California. Learn more at Carriage.com.
Southern Company is making energy smart and sustainable for their 9 million customers across the country. From modernizing infrastructure to achieving their interim carbon reduction goal 10 years early, Southern Company is committed to building a clean, resilient energy future. Learn more at southerncompany.com/future. Southern Company, building the future of energy.
Are you driving your car or doing laundry right now? Podcasts go best when they're bundled with another activity, like Progressive home and auto policies. They're best when bundled too. Having these two policies together makes insurance easier and could help you save. Customers who save by switching their home and car insurance to Progressive save nearly $800 on average. Quote a home and car bundle today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $793 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2021 and May 2022. Potential savings will vary.
Have you or a loved one been injured in an accident? Are you struggling to recover fair compensation? Look no further. At Phillips Law Firm, the experienced personal injury attorneys will fight for your rights and get you the justice and compensation you deserve. They handle a wide range of cases, including car accidents, slip and falls, medical malpractice, and workplace injuries. Justice is a phone call away, so don't wait. Call today for a free case review. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Hey, it's Mike Hawk. Join me every Thursday at 1 p.m. exclusively on the Odyssey app as we go live with Odyssey. Join in on the action as we cover interesting facts, top 10 lists, and some fun new games. Follow the Men's Room page on the Odyssey app and join in all the fun Thursday afternoons at 1.
Already made it to drinking time.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you we say, bottoms up, sailor! you're the toast of our shot of the day.
Big time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today, that person that we're toasting, Mike's going to bring up a little bit later, but this is so stupid to both of us, I feel that it warrants repeating. So today we toast an unidentified man from South Euclid, Ohio. Now, the manager of the Giant Eagle grocery store spotted our honoree leaving the store with a shopping cart full of about $500 in unpaid merchandise. So she alerted security. Security spotted him attempting to get into his potential getaway car. Now, here's what you need to know. The getaway car driver, who is clearly an idiot, he'd gone to a nearby car wash while his accomplice was stealing stuff. Just keep this in mind. We have made the agreement. I'm going to steal the stuff. You have the car ready to go. While you're in there stealing stuff, I decide, man, the car's kind of dirty. I'm going to go ahead and go to the car wash. Well, that proved to be their undoing because the getaway car was trapped between several other cars in the car wash line and could not move. So homie comes running out of the grocery store, $500 worth of merchandise. He's looking for his buddy, who's across the street, to get the getaway vehicle washed. But it's one of those automated car washes, so he's stuck in line. I'm not saying commit crime, but God damn it, if you're going to.
Bird
can
pooped
you
on the car, man.
put some more effort into it? Anyway, police ended up arresting our honoree, who shockingly had outstanding warrants. They also arrested the idiot driver, who also had outstanding warrants. Again, just think about this. We have colluded that I'll do the heavy lifting of the robbery, whether it's a bank, grocery store, it doesn't matter. You have the getaway vehicle, and you're telling me that when I walk out of this store with the stuff that we agreed to steal, you got one job, drive. Mm-hmm. You decided the car was dirty and wanted to go get it washed. At that moment, I swear to God, there needs to be a law against absolute stupidity.
I stole from the Giant Eagle. Where's my wills at?
Yeah, it's getting washed. So anyway, we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola, bichola!
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
Hey, Stephen Hill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Mitch. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hello.
Hola. All right, Mitch. Can't think of anything that rhymes with that. Mitch, do you understand how this here game is played?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, then you know already. You have your choice of 1 to 4 stories. The Wonderful World of Drugs. We have Bite Me. What did someone find in their food? Interior Decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone. And finally, Hit Me With Your Best Shot, where you guess the unconventional weapon that someone chose to use as a weapon.
I've never said this before in my life, but let's do drugs.
You know what's crazy, Mitch? You and I are very different people. I have said that many times in my life, and it never applied to this game. But here is your story. A man faces several charges, including a pair of felonies after swear to God, the place is called Licking, after a Licking Police Department investigation of a strange incident took place Wednesday night. Austin Baylor, 20 years old, he's charged with felonies of first-degree tampering with a motor vehicle, third-degree assault, along with misdemeanors of driving while intoxicated, leaving the scene of an accident, and first-degree sexual misconduct. A Licking officer reported being dispatched regarding a naked man lying on Highway 32. Sorry. Now, upon arrival, the officer observed Baylor lying naked in the roadway next to a white Chevy pickup. The officer reported that Baylor's body was rigid and that he was growling, sweating profusely, had involuntary jerking muscle spasms, and refused to follow lawful commands. So after securing Baylor in his patrol vehicle, the officer asked what he had taken, and he said he'd taken a certain drug along with drinking bong water. Now, due to Baylor's extremely impaired condition, emerging medical services, they were contacted. He was taken to a local hospital. Now, the officer reported that 2 people at the scene said their vehicle was struck twice in the rear by Baylor while traveling southbound. They said Baylor did not stop after the impact and attempted to flee the area. The officer reported that the pair said that when Baylor got out of his truck, I love how they say this. They noticed that he wasn't dressed. He was butt-ass naked. They said they approached Baylor, but then he punched one of them in the head. So he was naked and punching people. The officer reported that the truck that Baylor was driving was, in fact, owned by a woman who he said stole it from her without her permission earlier that day. Anyway, he was eventually taken to jail, and bail was set at $400,000. So other than some thirst-quenching bong water, what other drug was Baylor on? Methamphetamine, crack, bath salts, or PCP? So meth, crack, bath salts, or PCP?
Well, I'm thinking it's either bath salts or PCP. Now, what state is licking in?
I believe New Jersey.
You know?
It's either New Jersey or Ohio,
if I remember correctly.
Because I've heard the place before, yeah.
I'm thinking bath salts or PCP, but what do you guys think?
I'm going to go meth there, Mitch.
Meth? Okay.
Man, I don't know, but I'm with you. I'm going PCP.
It's dynamite.
Because of the nudity, Ted?
Yeah, and like...
The violence, the sweating.
The profusely sweating, but his body's rigid. Like, when you said his body was rigid, I was like, oh, is he dead? And it's like, no, but he's sweating.
I don't get the rigid part, but when you approached him, apparently he got violent. That seemed to be the thing, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm. All right, Mitch, what are you doing there?
All right, I'm going to go bath salts just to change it up.
All right, cool.
All right, I like it.
Let's go to find out what this guy's on. Meth, crack, bath salts, or PCP next.
That was a tease.
Imagine you're looking at a balancing scale with everything you do for other people on one side and everything you do for yourself on the other side. If it isn't balanced, maybe it's time to spend a little more time on you. And therapy is a great place to start. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist online who can help you find that balance and stick to it. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp.com/positive.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Category Shrugs on profile this. We got a guy in Licking, Missouri. He was naked lying on the highway, growling and grunting and sweating and swinging at people.
Thinking about Pikachu.
Police asked what he was on. He was taken to the hospital, then to jail. Was he on meth, crack, bath salts, or PCP?
And
that is the question.
That is the very question that we posed to you. Let us start with Ted Smith.
Yeah, I know.
You went to PCP. But look, man, it has all the hallmarks of PCP. Naked, sweaty, growling, right? And then when someone touches you or messes with you, you get up and punch them. However, to be honest, I'm kind of let down. That has all the hallmarks of PCP.
When I found out what state it was, I was like, damn it.
Mm-hmm. Now, Mitch, you went with bath salts because let's face it, if it's not PCP, probably bath salts if that is how you're going to react to the police. However, no, that is not it. See, Mitch, that's why you said let's not do drugs. You never said it before because you just don't know your drugs. A damn shame. Miles, you went with methamphetamine.
I did.
That is not the usual meth reaction.
Hey, meth.
That's what surprised me. Hooray, meth. Yes.
I'll be the spokesperson for that. Now for all TV news all time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right. You got the Jimmies?
Fallon Kibble.
Writers.
Seth Meyers.
Or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
That's right, though. The title. These guys have talented teams of writers help them come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom? Or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
Earlier this week, Pete Davidson was trending. But really, when is Pete not trending? It was rumored that he was dating Ice Spice, but then people figured out it was a joke since Ice Spice is not one of the original Spice Girls.
Ted Smith.
Yeah, I'll say you.
Yeah.
Why are you disappointed?
It's the last 2 days, man. I've been like walking into work. I'm like, all right, I got him.
It's not that the jokes are bad. We just kind of know your skew on things. That's all it is.
Ice Spice is a real musical artist.
For real?
Yep. Yeah.
I learned something new.
See, that's my problem. I assumed you two would know who Ice Spice is.
Why would you assume that either of us know who anyone is?
Miles, you know who Ice Spice is.
I do. I do.
I know. That's what's come on. The CDC issued a warning identifying a diarrhea superbug. It's called Shanglia. which I thought was a Jewish holiday.
Seth Meyers. Yes, Seth.
Writers.
The CDC issued a warning identifying a diarrhea superbug. It's called Shigella, which I thought was a Jewish holiday.
Me and the writers are writing that joke.
No, man.
I mean, it's fine, but I'm just like, yeah, we're gonna make fun of that one. Let's see. Wendy's is going to start selling their chili in a can at grocery stores. It's perfect if you always thought that chili at Wendy's was too fresh.
Seth Meyers.
Fallon.
Wendy's is going to start selling their chili in a can at grocery stores. It's perfect if you've always thought the chili at Wendy's was too fresh.
Authorities in Minnesota arrested a man on suspicion of drunk driving after he allegedly fell asleep at an Arby's drive-thru. It's the rare occasion when drunk driving may have saved a man's life.
Fallon. Kimmel.
Oh, that's Myers.
Authorities in Minnesota recently arrested a man on suspicion of drunk driving after he allegedly fell asleep in an Arby's drive-thru. It's the rare occasion where drunk driving may have saved someone's life.
I don't know what the deal is with him and Arby's. And he's always hating on him.
I think he just has fun doing it. I bet you they send his ass crap all the time.
You think?
Because, look, he's never horrible to them. Look, I think any fast food place, any major company, in theory, should be able to handle the jokes. Not necessarily criticisms, that's different. Make the jokes about you, but in the end, all you're doing is promoting it.
Well, you guys are big XFL guys.
I am.
Arby's is all about that.
Goddamn right, because they got the meats.
Yeah.
And we got the football. It's funny. They had a commercial for some, I don't know, filet of fish sandwich, some crap they're doing, and well, we have the meats. And my wife's like, that's not meat. And I go, babe, if it comes from an animal, it's meat. I know we call it seafood, but he can't say Arby has the seafood. That doesn't kind of rock the same.
Oh, yeah,
way.
For him, he's got to say it's the meat.
Yeah, the meat. I'm like, it's still meat.
Last week, you guys were at the game, and in the fourth quarter...
You got to go with this, man.
It came back on, and the two announcers were literally like, they had like a little promo, but they timed it up perfect, and they were like, Arby's, we got the meats. And then they just nonchalantly went, that's the best thing we've done all game.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
If I'm working a booth, man, and working a game, and they bring me Arby's, I'm like, yes.
Ted, are you going to go with us? Miles said he's in. He's like, hey, man, just let me know.
Yeah.
I'm going to go.
I would like to. My weekends of late have been
I know, you're
busy.
Captain Social. We get it, man. I'm saying when you can, you need to go to a game. Mike and I screamed our faces off.
Yeah.
It was cold as hell. We didn't care.
It was so cold.
We're in it, man. God dang, it was so cold. So cold.
One place it's not cold? Egypt.
Correct.
And you know what you find in old pyramids?
Mummies.
Mummies. Good call.
I'm so smart.
Brendan Fraser, he's been in the news a lot lately. He's not starring in another The Mummy. He's in The Whale.
Right.
But I guess he accidentally got choked out. His new movie's called The Whale.
Yeah.
All right. He accidentally got choked out while shooting 1999's The Mummy. He was on Kelly Clarkson's show and said the scene at the beginning of the movie where his character is hung in an Egyptian prison, he was standing on his toes with a rope around his neck, but the guy holding the rope pulled a little too high. He says, quote, next thing I knew, my elbows were at my ear, the world was sideways, and there was gravel in my teeth, and everyone was really quiet. And then I like this. This is kind of like the Rocky stuff where everybody gets punched. And then there was a stunt coordinator who said, congratulations, you're in the club. Same thing happened to Mel Gibson on Braveheart.
Oh, great.
Sweet. I mean, me and Mel hanging.
You know, it's fun because you don't want that, at least with the Rocky franchise. And I believe Michael B. Jordan has kept this tradition alive. So if you're in the Rocky franchise, the one thing you had to do, it's not that you got in the ring and fought each other, but you both took blows from each other. Off camera, just one of those deals like, hey, man, some guys have got knocked out. I want to say Sylvester Stallone, his ribs broken. Michael B. Jordan, when he joined the franchise to do the Creed thing, he's like, yo, man, Sylvester Stallone was like, no, I'm going to hit you, man. Like, no, I'm going to hit you. Don't take it. It's like, and he tagged my ass, man, and it sucked. Hit him back, damn near dropped him, but
hit a 65-year-old man in the face.
Right, but it's a tradition they do, and I love it.
70.
I think it's cool.
Probably 70.
I think also people need to go check out some of the Creed movies. Like I've seen some people are like, and I get it. Everybody gets older. And they're like, well, Rocky kind of fell off after like 4, and it's like, yeah, 5. There was a couple weird ones there, but like The Creed movies are good.
My daughter in California does not know Rocky.
Really?
She loves the Creed franchise.
They're really good movies, and the thing is, and I will say
passing the torch on, kind of like Cobra Kai, anything else.
And I'm not. I mean, look, I'm old, man. I've seen
Mandalorian,
all of them. But that said, right, you can like the Mandalorian without watching Star Wars. You can truly enjoy these Creed movies. It's not like the Rocky story is so in depth that you need a lot of explanation. Like, he used to box. He used to be the champ. He went through some crap. He's training his adversary's son, right? Yeah. And they're really good movies. I've enjoyed them, man. I really have.
And there's a lot of spin-offs like that, right? I mean, you see it in TV shows and stuff. Look, I guarantee you there's a whole bunch of people that watched Frasier back in the day.
Had no idea
there was Cheers.
Yeah, that's exactly.
So it's like, right, that's how stuff happens.
Now,
right?
he's done really, and this is Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut, I believe, which is kind of cool.
Did you see Michael B. Jordan on Sunday night at the SAG Awards?
I did not.
Somebody from a radio station was talking to him, and she said, hey, and she's like, we go way back. We went to like grade school or high school together. And he goes, yeah. I'm the corny one, right? And she's like, no. Like,
he remembered.
Like, you could tell he legit remembered.
So what did she say?
I mean, look, she tried to backtrack. It was like, I'm sure it was misquoted or whatever. Like, I'm assuming she was taping it. She was covering it up pretty well, but he remembered.
He remembered.
He was not happy.
Good on him.
Yeah. And then, of course, she was like, well, you're kicking ass. You're doing everything in Hollywood.
It's probably like I goddamn know.
I'm moving on now.
I'm talking about
next reporter.
Right.
Which I think everybody, you have one of those fantasies. Right. Like running into, like, now, for Michael B. Jordan, that's a big step up, right? He's at a SAG Award. I mean,
he's at an elite level right
like,
now.
He's done all this stuff. So obviously everybody knows him, but it's like, you're still going to remember some of that stuff. So he's probably like, oh, you got to be kidding me. This is lucky.
Yeah, I don't care if you make 12. Bill Gates probably remembers the person who bullied him in school. Like, that's business-wise, I got your ass. I'm not worried about schooling you on that, brother. There ain't no thing about it. But I remember your bitch ass giving me all this grief. I remember.
Like, it's not even, like, obviously bullies are one thing or stuff, but like DeMatha, we're a pretty tight-knit community, but there's a few guys, like, that I went to school with, they just didn't get along.
Sure.
And I didn't really think about it, so I went back to my 20th high school reunion, and a couple guys, like, I was just like, oh, yeah, like, we just don't get along. Like, I'm not going to keep talking. Yeah. Like, he doesn't like me now as an adult. All right, let's see. Stand-up is hard to do. That is one kind of piece of art that seems like everybody thinks they can do.
I think because people don't recognize that it's an art. And when you do an art, a lot of effort goes into it before people see your final product, right?
Correct. And I think most people see comedians, like the comedians you see on TV at this point have been working for years. They're an audience that knows them. But like, yeah, I mean, and I also recommend it for a lot of people. Like, I've done it. It's scary as hell. Go to some open mic nights and try it out. Like, you might actually be good at it and like it. Yeah. But it's different when you're just sitting in an audience, nobody knows who you are, and they just expect you to be funny.
The thing about being a comedian, it's the truth is this: you can think you're funny. Your audience determines if you're funny, right?
Yep.
And that's one of the few art things that you do where definitively the audience determines whether or not you're good or bad at it.
Yeah. So there was reports that Tom Brady wants to be a stand-up. Obviously, that's fake. It's just another thing. He's in talks with Netflix to have a roast, the greatest roast of all time.
Oh, sure. You got to go to Comedy Central.
And he's also...
I mean, don't you? Like Jeff Ross, those guys, like the guys that...
But not Tom Brady. I mean, it's...
Well, also, I don't think... They just haven't done those in a while. That whole... There was definitely a period where everybody was doing them on Comedy Central, but it kind of just went away. Jeff Ross still does stuff all the time. And you can't have a celebrity roast and not have Jeff Ross on there. But
He's the master.
Yeah. Netflix does a lot of things well, but they do a very good job with comedy right now, and they kind of own it. But yeah, they're talking about doing that. He says he also plans to spend time with his kids before starting his 10-year, $375 million broadcasting deal with Fox.
Jeez. Okay, then.
The guy's never done any broadcasting. 10 years.
Think about that. You know, if you join the NFL, you get the rookie contract. If you become stellar, and granted, the team will milk it as long as they can, but your rookie contract is not the, hey, I've proven a contract. So I know Tom Brady's Tom Brady, and I believe that he will do a good job. He's not a stupid man. But broadcasting is different. It's just a different thing. The way you have to go about it I'd be like, here's a 2-year deal with a 3rd-year option. We'll see where you're
Well,
at.
my thing, too, would be like, look, can I do it like the Manning cast? Can I have a little bit more, instead of being analytical all the time, can I just like go, oh, God.
No, not on the network.
You can't.
No, well, but Peyton Manning and his brother and their they've done a good job of being like, he's turned down millions and been like, no, I don't want to be in the booth. Like, I don't want to do that. And also, you can see he still goes to games with his kids and stuff, which is pretty cool.
Part of it, yeah.
All right. Tough one in your house tonight there, Thrill.
Oh, no. Is this Masked Singer?
It is, but also, and Miles will like this, 3rd season premiere of Mandalorian.
Ooh.
Yes, Dad. Yes.
Yeah, here's the thing. With Mandalorian, because it's streaming, I wait for the kids to go to bed. Like, we can watch whatever you want to watch. When your ass goes to bed, I'm watching my show.
Yeah. They have not seen that yet?
No.
They would love that.
I think they will get to it. They still perceive it as Star Wars, therefore.
It's not cool. That's not cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, Tim. We appreciate it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
You diet, you work out, and still there's that one stubborn spot. Hey, it's Jason. I just went after my stubborn fat by doing cool sculpting at Tureen Dermatology, Minnesota's top cool sculpting provider. Dr. Tureen is my dermatologist. We froze my fat, and those fat cells are gone for good. FDA approved. No pain, no downtime. Ranked top doctor 8 years in a row. Trust the experts at Tureen Dermatology. Call today, 651-633-6883. And say goodbye to stubborn fat.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. A man in Peru finds out his 800-year-old mummified girlfriend actually really a dude. Meanwhile, when you shoot up a home and leave fresh snow prints, you will be pursued. Louisiana ice cream truck owned by Tammy shockingly busted for meth. Kids at recess in Arizona probably should have held their breath. And a Buffalo Wild Wings manager is busted because of his shifty eyes. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
All right, our top story. We go to Ohio, where a getaway driver is out of a job. We may have covered this just a little bit earlier today. A thief was being chased down by officers after he sprinted out of a local grocery store with nearly $500 in unpaid merchandise. But things took a turn when he got to his getaway car, which was stuck in line at a car wash nearby, unable to get free.
Why do you hire a getaway driver who's like, man,
hang on, man.
I want this car to look real good.
We can't be running from the police with a dirty car.
Can you wait till we're done with the job? Right, whatever the job is, when you're working with someone else and you got a quote-unquote job to do, like, man, anything else that is extraneous, can you please frickin' wait?
Maybe he was running with the Grand Theft Auto reality, where if you clean the car, then the police just don't even know what car you have anymore.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You think that might be it? Like, he got sucked through, hey, man, I'll learn some video games.
All you got to do is just clean it up, and then you're good to go.
Yeah, okay.
If we can get somebody to give it like a 2-minute paint job, we're ready to go.
God, worst getaway driver ever.
Yes. In other news, down in Louisiana, the owner of an ice cream truck was arrested after getting a little too much attention outside of her demographic, we'll say. Police got a tip about the truck rolling about town with expired tabs and no brake lights and decided to investigate. They found the cause to search the truck and were able to locate some melted ice cream in the freezer, as well as, what do you know, methamphetamine and paraphernalia.
Also, when you have an ice cream truck and you pull up to a neighborhood and no kids come up and you have no ice cream, she had melted ice cream.
Right. She did.
I mean, guys.
Really?
Was she even playing music?
The thing was, did you see a picture of the truck?
Oh, yeah.
It's really actually a nice old school bus that she redid and all those things.
Okay.
I'm sure she had the money to fix it up based on the meth.
Based on the meth?
Well, I mean, but not on the snow cones.
Okay, she's as dumb as a getaway driver. Like, dude, at least make sure the product, your kid product, the ice cream, is solid, right?
They had their suspicions of the truck for a while, and they finally made their bust. They knew she was selling
only
meth.
Grown men with pigtails were approaching.
Right. Why do people with no teeth like your ice cream so
much? Men on one-speed bikes and a backpack.
By heavens. A man in Connecticut was caught after police tracked him down, quite literally. They received a report from a home in the area that an unknown assailant fired several shots from a handgun into their home. Police investigated the scene and eventually found a bullet casing on the ground right next to some fresh footprints.
Jesus Christ.
They followed the tracks all the way to a nearby home where they found their suspect and took him into custody.
Okay, look, again, I want people to understand. I'm not advocating committing crime.
No, you're not.
But as a human being, hoping to have continued respect for other human beings. I know some people are up to no good. Hell, half the time I am.
You bet.
Man, don't be stupid. Right? Just don't be dumb.
Think,
That's all, dude. That's why I want the stupidity charge. An additional $10,000 fine, not because we busted you doing whatever, but the reason we busted you is because you're so stupid.
Right.
You didn't cover this one thing, right?
Right.
That's all.
Listen,
That's all.
We run a talk show in here. There's a handful of different things that we need to be able to do. We need to be able to put a sentence together. There's reading comprehension and everything else that we need to be able to do. We make sure all those boxes are checked. If you're a thief, part of your job is evasion.
Like, when we go on the air, Mike is not washing the microphones at 2:08.
Right.
It's like, hey, bro, this is our moment. This is when we go.
Hang on.
No, my one good and shiny.
Gonna make sure this thing's good and shiny.
Scrub it.
There we go.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that guy was on drugs. That is just so dumb,
man. But that's it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawkins out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow for Big Dummy. The head chef is back with Ted's Meat and Potatoes. We celebrate 50 years of Dark Side of the Moon now. Woo! Taryn Daly, non-stop, front to back, one of the greatest albums of all time is up next.
And if she's not stoned, it's on her. In the meantime, we be all about this bitch for the next 100 seconds. So until then, please do what you do best for Aletha's sake. Stay beautiful.
Audience, wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
What you watch depends on what kind of mood you're in. Sometimes you're craving comedies like Friends or South Park, and sometimes you're more into dramas like HBO's Succession and House of the Dragon. There's also cooking shows like Chopped and Beat Bobby Flay, and even movies like The Lord of the Rings and Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Well, Max is the streaming destination that has the best of entertainment for whatever mood you're in anytime. And plans start at as little as $9.99 a month. Max, the one to watch. Subscription required. Visit max.com.
Love the skin you're in with Hand & Stone Massage and Facial Spa's facial services. Enjoy the tranquility and deep relaxation while giving your skin a rejuvenating glow. All facials are tailored to your individual needs using the highest quality ingredients designed to give you healthy, radiant, and younger-looking skin. Visit any one of their 8 Seattle Hand & Stone Massage and Facial Spa locations or book online at handandstone.com. Restrictions apply. See spa for details. T-Mobile's network can help keep you connected to all your favorite podcasts when you're out and about. Whether you're an early bird looking to dive into a daily news podcast or a night owl who wants to catch up on the latest reality TV drama, T-Mobile will keep you connected on their strong and reliable network. T-Mobile covers more highway miles with 5G than anyone. So if you need great coverage, especially when you're on the go, check out T-Mobile. Find out more at T-Mobile.com/CY. That's SEEWHY.
If you're a contractor, it's now easier for you to do business with the Department of Labor and Industries. Go to lni.wa.gov/skip the line and make an appointment with us ahead of time. No waiting around, no wasted time away from your job site. You get in, get out, and get on your way. Easy. So contractors, just go to lni.wa.gov/skip the line to make an appointment and get back to doing what you do best.